Or we can ask others might want to know.
I'm also curious, like, why someone would say no doesn't look good to me. Like, I understand that you some legal reason you have.
Or like-
approved, like,
There might be some like logistical, I don't know.
Like,
Okay.
that feels very petty. Like, you know.
No. All right, okay, yay. All right, welcome everyone to the select board meeting. Today is February 9th. Ooh, okay, I got Vicky online. I'm Sabrina Dunlap. We have Stephen Whitley and Alyssa McCann and Jeff Donahoe cannot make it, and Vicky Bram is online, so.
That's not Jeff.
Oh, wait, sorry, Jeff's joining us too. All right. I will move that we allow Jeff and Vicky to join us remotely.
Second.
Okay, it's a roll call vote. Stephen?
Yes.
I mean, yes. Alyssa?
Yes.
Okay, you guys are in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, first up, we have points of pride.
I have one.
Once again, it's the highway department who jumped into action when we had a safety concern in the school brought to our attention with the snowbank being sort of sticking out into the sidewalks. Yeah, I don't know. So, here's the highway folks are taking care of that.
Yes. Anyone else?
It's not that amazing things haven't been happening, of which I am proud. It is just that my brain is blank right now.
That's fair. Yeah. I would just say thank you to everyone who worked so hard on the school and town budgets and to the budget committee. It seemed like a very good meeting last week. All right, Vicky and Jeff, you guys good?
I'm good.
Fine. Thanks to everything everybody does.
Okay. Next up, we have administrative and approval of the consent agenda. Do you want to ask a
I
question?
do. Under the right to bury, I have two questions. The first is, what is a temporary right to bury? If you happen to know, if not, I can also Google this. And then the other is, why wouldn't someone approve a right to bury if you happen to know?
I don't know the answers to either of those questions.
I don't want them to hold up the consent agenda. I just was curious as to why we needed to approve it.
We can pull off the temporary one. And then
I don't want to stop anyone from moving forward. It's more, I just want to understand what it is. That's all. But I have a phone, and I have a Google, and I can find out.
Okay, so we need to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
Seconded?
Okay, it's a roll call vote. Jeff and Vicky, I'll do you last. Stephen?
Yes.
I mean, yes. Alyssa?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
And Vicky?
Is the consent agenda in the drive?
It is not.
I abstain.
Okay. And then we do not have minutes. So I think that's it for administrative, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so that brings us to public appointments. And first up is our town moderator, Sarah Pacino. And maybe Luca. Okay. Hi. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me. Luca's got basketball practice in a couple minutes at
Okay.
Harold Marvin, so
Okay.
we're here. All right, so it's almost March, which is everybody's favorite time of year. I know, another round of annual meeting and voting date. And in case anyone listening is not aware, we will have town and school elections on March 10th, Tuesday, March 10th. And the polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Hopkinton Middle High School. Town meeting has been set for Thursday, March 19th at 6 p.m. Although I encourage everyone to come earlier than 6 p.m. because if everyone tries to check in at the same time, It gets like really long. So we have a very strong cast of volunteers again who will be helping to make all of this go off without a hitch, and town staff, which I really appreciate. We have 2 assistant moderators this year, Jim O'Brien and Anna Wells, both of whom have helped in the past and have a lot of experience, which is wonderful. I'm working with the clerk's office and with the town administrator to prepare and distribute the information for voting this year. And just wanted to touch in with you as we do every year to make sure we're all on the same page. There are a few new things that will be rolling out in 2026, which is exciting. We have a new ballot counting device for elections. If anybody has been following that progress in the state, it's been years of consideration and tests for what devices they will approve for our elections, and we got that at the end of last year. There will be a public ballot counting device test. If anybody is interested, that will get posted up on the website. People can come observe that. We have had 2 trainings with the company that administers them, and it's the same company we had for the last ballot counting device, which was older than me. So LHS, which is a New Hampshire company, does the servicing and training for that, and they also do our poll pads. They've been great to work with, so we really appreciate that. The other new thing this year is that we can use poll pads for our town meeting check-in. Some of you might remember that last year we started using them for elections, but we were not permitted by the state to use them for town meeting. So I'm excited to share that there will no longer be alphabetized lines for any of your voting check-in purposes.
Exciting.
Very exciting. It's the small things in life, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We also have a new school moderator this year, and I have been working with him to put together our written rules of procedure for the annual school and town meeting. We will be putting that out on the town and school websites shortly. His meeting with the school board is tomorrow. So these are the rules we've been operating town and school meeting under, and which I go over at the beginning of every meeting, but we really wanted to make sure people had the opportunity to review them in writing before, especially if they've never been to a town meeting, to make sure they know the rules of operation when they're going into it. So trying to communicate that, as well as voter responsibilities and things that folks should know about the annual meeting. We also will be getting some new stickers for the elections. Try not to get too excited. The state did do a second contest last year for the 4th and 5th graders to do their I voted stickers, and we know that they will be sending out 6 designs for the fall elections. But before that, for our local elections, I got the Hopkinton designs that were submitted by our students so that we could have Hopkinton specific stickers, which is very good. So in case you needed another reason to come vote on March 10th, we'll have very cool stickers.
Love that.
And the town clerk's office, led by Deputy Clerk Emily, has been putting together the first ever best dog voting for election day. So kids will be able to vote, which is something Hopkinton did before the COVID times, in which we just have not ramped back up again, which is very exciting. So when families come, kids will have their own voting station. There are some volunteers, including that kiddo back there, who will be helping
It's gone.
run it. So
Gone.
she's gone. I do know where she went, just for the public. I'm aware. She's with a trusted adult. So kids will be able to come in and vote. It'll be very cute. Another good reason to come to the elections, and you just have to be eligible to vote in the Hopkinton kids election, ages 0 to 17. Adults not permitted. So sorry. And anyone who is interested in nominating their dog to be one of Hopkinton's top 5 candidates just needs to send information in to the town clerk's office by February 20th, and their dogs must be licensed with the rabies vaccination. So
Okay.
that is the eligibility requirements, and only 1 dog per household. I know there are many households with multiple pups, and it's going to be really hard to choose. I don't know what kind of contest you'll have to do with your dogs in your household, but it's only 1 at this time.
How do I petition to get cats on the ballot in future elections?
I think it's a great question. I have a dog and cats. I share your concern, and that feels like a great thing for 2027.
I
We're
look
gonna ease
forward to
into
it.
this,
Yeah,
you know,
I'm very
we're gonna
excited.
try one.
We do have
Animal at a
a
time.
discussion later.
Okay. We'll get to lizards and snakes, I'm sure, at some point. Yes.
I cannot wait for the double-sided, perhaps triple-sided.
We're gonna have to get the long ballot. And the thing that I will need from you all, select board members. It's just your schedules for election day
Mhm.
at some point, so we can make sure if there are periods of time when you can't be there, that we have select board pro tems who are filling in for you.
If we are on the ballot, but it's not a contested race, are we still allowed to work as
You cannot touch ballots.
can't touch them, but we can still be in as our like usual duties as an election official?
That's a solid question, Sabrina. You are technically allowed to.
Okay.
I might advise you find a pro tem for the day, just for appearance's sake. But you definitely can't touch any ballots.
Yeah.
I forgot you were on the ballot.
No, uncontested as of now, so
But isn't that the
That-
case
it's
for
not
one
the
to two
rule.
members every year?
Yes.
that they can't be inside
Yeah.
if their name's on the ballot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just didn't know. I know that you can't
Okay.
help count.
Yeah,
ballots
you
and stuff,
can be fulfilling
But
your
like help.
constitutional duty.
Really great
but-
day to say hi to people, so.
You can outside, and I'm sure it will be great weather, and we won't have any
I
snow.
actually got sunburned last year. Could be nice. Sarah,
Mhm.
if we have any questions about the space layout for town meeting, when is the appropriate time to bring those questions to you?
Sooner, the better. Yeah,
Excellent.
we are laying out space plan things with the town clerk's office and the town administrator. Be Great. Or now, like,
Oh, I can tell you now, they're not like extreme. Just one question is there a budgetary or equipment limiting factor that would stop us from potentially having 2 mic stations as opposed to 1, just to make it easier to
I
get to
love this
mics?
question. And so I think in the past Hopkinton has done both in my memory, had 2 and had 1. And I think the reason they went to 1 was because it can get difficult to track who was in line first with 2,
Mm,
which I also understand. My proposal to everyone, the group, has been to have one of the assistant moderators have a traveling mic, which might help address any issues of mobility getting to a microphone. And so that if there was someone who wanted to speak but couldn't get up to the mic, they'd raise their hand and then we would have a moderator go over to them. I don't know if that addresses the concern, is like an in-between compromise.
Yeah, the concern is just about accessibility, and it sounds like you're gonna try something new this year, and I'm excited to see how it goes.
Me too.
The other question around accessibility is, I know in the past we've used the auditorium as an overflow space, and that in the moment there had only for 1 or 2 votes, not for every vote, had been some like, are they here? Are they not here? And I was just wondering if having 2 assistant moderators will make it easier to communicate with the auditorium and make sure.
Yes, because we can send one to the auditorium, which will be great. Yes. I would love to need to use the overflow room this year. It's always fun. Better to be in a room together, but it's good to have a lot of people come.
And then I think this will probably be covered in the rules that you're posting, but
Mhm.
if a member of the community has a specific accessibility request,
Please
How do
reach
they-
out. Yes,
Okay.
please reach out. The clerk's office number is posted online. Come to the clerk's office. People can call me or email me too. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but I do have a moderator email. So
yeah.
moderator@hopkinton-nh.gov. Try that. Yeah. And I'm happy to talk to anybody.
And
about
so
it.
anyone can reach out to either you as the moderator or the clerk's office.
Yes.
To discuss needs in order to participate.
In town meeting, yes. If you have general questions about voter registration or regular questions, we do direct folks to the clerk's office.
Awesome.
Since they have regular hours and
Thank you, Sarah.
more accessible. Yeah, of course. Anyone else? Karen? No? Okay.
So you just need us to be in touch about availability on the 10th.
I expect Jeff to pack snacks for us all.
And I know you said the times of the voting, but what is the times for the volunteers that day?
So we have 2 shifts of volunteers that day. There's a morning shift which runs 6:45 to 1, and the afternoon shift runs 12:45 to 7. We have a great cast of characters who have signed up. A lot of familiar faces, some new faces, and also if folks are ever interested in learning more about how you volunteer, that email again is how you would reach me.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, sir.
There will not be a storm on which.
You knock on all the wood that is. One time is enough.
I think we've had this exact conversation a few years prior to this, and there were storms. Okay, thank you, Sarah. Next up, we have Leaf Rosenbaum about the Eagle Scout project. Hi.
Well, introduce myself. Hello, everyone. My name is Leif Rosenholm. I am 16. I go to Hopkinton Middle High School. I'm a junior. I am working on my Eagle project. Currently, I'm Life in Troop 77. And this is my troop scoutmaster, Mr. Boehner. Thank you for coming. Yeah, I came here a couple weeks back and I came back with a presentation and just more information about it. I'd just like to explain and express the importance. So yeah, this is a Eagle Scout conservation project. It's rebuilding the public picnic area. It's near the new restaurant Cedar and Main. It's over to the left. And it's near the dam on the opposite side of the fire department. Yeah. So the existing picnic area, these are the two pictures that were taken. So you see that the bench, you see the trash can, and then there's a fence. And I'd like to, once the snow all melts, I'd like to rebuild it so we could put a new picnic table in there, like an industrial weather grade, like forget
Perforated steel.
yeah, perforated steel coated, meant for like non-staining, non-rusting, and then a metal trash can so like the wood doesn't rot, and then we can. I heard there were some arguments about the color, so we can find a
Suggestion.
more suited color. Not sure what that color could be. This was I did use AI on this, but I just rendered it like a drawing and of what it could look like. Those are the two pictures, but they're like mashed up. So yeah, I'd probably do like a metal coated. I was thinking of like a hexagon table or something like that, like the ones near Colonial and that grass patch. Yeah, pretty similar trash cans to that. Just let's set it up and then we could make a fence for it. I think that'd be so. Currently, like the whole point of this is to remove aging, the damaged picnic, and like the furniture outside. Install durable, permanent metal seating and tables so they can last longer and not like rot with weather and things. Improve cleanliness and usability of the Riverside area. So it's pretty self-explanatory. And then select materials designed for flooding and harsh weather. Like as we know, like the river can flood. I don't know if it will flood that high, but there's definitely still rain and snow that debris and damage to get just reduce how well it is. Yeah. So the first park bench that I chose is the industrial expanded metal park bench. It's the in-ground mount, so you mount it in-ground, and it's coated outdoor furniture. And then the picnic table is a 8-foot metal picnic table. It's a rectangle, and then the brand is Uline. That's like many industrial places use Uline as a outdoor and picnic furniture supply. So the estimated cost, like the final quotes pretty much. It's the industrial metal park bench. It's for two of them, it'd be 2,200 because as it says, it's 1,100 each. For the is that 8-inch or 8-foot?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. 8-foot metal picnic table. It's
Small
1,100.
picnic table.
Yeah, I was like, what?
For squirrels.
Yeah, maybe. That'd be cute. So the wire mesh trash cans are 150 each, so we'd get two, that'd be 300. The concrete anchoring the hardware, probably around 300, could be closer to 400. And then the Boy Scouts project sign, so once it's all complete, I'd like to have a sign there that says like Leaf Rosenholm Eagle Scout Project. And then so the estimated total is around 4,900, 5,000. Is there more slides?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the impact of this project is it enhances the public riverside like gathering space. People can gather, people can eat. If the Cedar and Main restaurant becomes more of like an outdoors or to go, people can eat there. It's anybody from the town. It just improves like being able to gather outside in a nice place. It encourage like I said, it encourages people to go outside. People should be outside more, and there should be like clean places outside for people to gather around, like make memories and be with family. And the metal design that I'm proposing is for like durability and like longer times, so they can be there. The park bench, it's the in-ground mount. When I was talking about, it's a heavy-duty steel construction for public use. The in-ground mounting improves flood and vandal resistance. So if people try to take it or there's floods, it doesn't move because it's concrete insert. And then since it's metal, it'll stay outside longer. And then the 8-foot metal picnic table, its expanded metal surface allows for the water drainage. So because it's not wood and it's not flat on the top, water can drain through. Things that can go in there can melt, like ice, snow, water. And then high use public. That's fine. So this is the wire mesh trash can. It open mesh for design, like it prevents water and snow or ice getting stuck in there. The durable steel construction for the outdoor use, so it doesn't. It's made to not rust. It's made to not mold, anything like that. It just makes it look cleaner if there's a newer trash can. Just all over. Overall, just like replacing everything and just making it look nice will make people want to come. It can improve the shop. It could like bring customers to shops in town. It could just improve population there. And then that's the sources and the links. And last slide, this is like the project location map. So there's Cedar Street, and then I'm trying to see where this is.
It's got the dam, you can see the dam going across the river there,
It's that.
right above the blue dot.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah. So where it says 0.19 on the bottom, I think that's where the restaurant is, and then it goes from the parking lot to there. So yeah, pretty much where that blue dot is where we put this design. Settle.
Great.
I think that's all. Any questions?
Do you have a sense, like, once the snow goes away, how long it'll take you to do the work?
So we'd first like to gather up. We already have the prices. We already have the products. But we'd like to order them, gather who can help fund this, who can volunteer, and just gather up all the prices and like the funding and everything. So I would like to start by like even before like June, like May, March. I would like to start as early as possible, but just like as the weather is kind of nice.
Yeah.
And then the ground will be soft, so it'll be easier.
Leaf, have you met our DPW director, Dan?
Oh, sure. Well, nice to meet you.
He's he kind of oversees all the maintenance and
Oh,
everything. too.
really?
So yeah, if you have questions.
I had the problem with baby flu.
Oh, really? What color would you like it? Green?
Tough guy.
Yeah,
color.
green or black, something a little bit.
All right. Yeah, I like black.
We're very happy that you decided to go over to this location because
Mhm.
we're already taxed out enough. And
Oh,
create a new place for us to maintain is pretty difficult. So
Yeah.
rehabilitating an existing place is a much better.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Proposed picnic area, just so you know, is in the river.
Mhm. Thank you.
So Dan, quick question for you. Is there an issue with the benches being anchored? Like, does DPW need to move them or
As
anything?
long as that we can unhook them and move them if we had to,
Okay.
that's the only request that I have.
Makes sense.
And then is the picnic table anchored in any way, or is it super heavy so that people wouldn't be able to like lift it up and?
They're decently heavy. I've tried to lift one before. They wouldn't wash away or like blow away or anything. I don't think it needs to be anchored. I think it'd be
Okay.
totally
The
fine.
benches you can leave in the ground, it's good, but I would anchor the picnic table somehow, because
Yeah.
that will grow legs and walk away.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, you
Can
can.
you do the anchoring yourself or? is
Yeah,
that- Okay.
Yeah, I think you could just do like dig out a hole, put concrete in a hook, and just
Okay.
make a hook chain.
Okay.
Okay.
I would put in a plug for colors for green, just because it is.
Green or
you know,
black, yeah,
School color,
makes sense.
Good point.
but
This is true.
Anyone else?
Thank you so much.
Thank
for
you.
The work and research you've done.
Thank you guys for listening.
Looks
I
great.
appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, nice.
Awesome.
yeah,
nice
nice work. Thank you very
presentation.
much.
you. Well done. Okay. That brings us to the transfer station, our final public appointment. So. Do you have, we have like a list of, or can you introduce what we're talking about, Karen?
Sure.
And do we want?
Some Webster folks.
We have some
Yes.
Webster folks.
Webster.
I'd like to invite them up to the table to be a part of the
Oh.
conversation.
Yes, our Webster Select Board friends, if you would like to come up. You don't have to, but you are welcome to.
As long as we're still friends.
And
Come on over.
Jolene, do you guys? wanna come up?
I love these chairs, by the way. I wanted this in our budget, but we said no. Or, you know.
Thank you guys for being with us.
Yes.
We probably have any extras of these. If not, we'll pass down and share them.
There's, two piles right there.
You got it right there? Okay, let's pass them down. So these are the recycling numbers. You wanna keep both of them together. There's
I'm taking that.
I'm having trouble getting that back on. Alyssa? Your technical expertise.
I'm on-
We have another copy for John and Dana.
Yeah, there's
Read my left blanket.
I think there's some over here that we could
a couple of files.
pass over to you.
Oh, yeah.
Up screen.
If not, we'll share it, but.
Mhm. Melissa,
Is the same?
so-
Yeah.
Usually you close the short one, just for us.
Must.
A lot.
Very affordable. Yes, I'm gonna get my chairs.
Oh, no, no.
That's cute. I know. Yeah, right.
And then left.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Can't wait to see it done.
I don't know if you want that straight now.
Oh, nice job, young man. It's a good learning thing.
I can actually bring to it. Two people.
Still think Public City will pay it.
I would have gone.
John?
Nice to see
He did a nice job.
So at a recent select board meeting, I think it might have even been the last one. The Hopkinton board had asked to invite the transfer station folks in. And just to have a conversation kind of about how things are going. Some more specific questions about recycling. How do we say, the attendance at the station and, you know, who's using the station. So I had sent them some questions to sort of based on what the board's questions were. Physical obstacles to the installation of a gate. How do we monitor who uses the transfer station? And what would be the best way to accomplish this? What is failing? What needs maintenance? Do we have recycling numbers? Curious about what happened to our recycling numbers after the green bags went away. Cleanup efforts along in the location where the fence is going to be or beyond it where the trash is blown. And what support does the transfer station staff feel they could use from the board?
I know there's so many
Loaded.
questions.
So we'll start off with the fence. we'd already planned on putting up a metal fence instead of the plastic. The plastic's obviously not holding up as well as I thought it would for any length of time. It's actually going down rather quickly. So we're gonna do like a chicken wire fence to start because chain link would be just astronomical to put in those areas. Also, there's two sections, one above and one below, that are gonna require removal for winter, so we have a place to put snow. So I think like a chicken wire fence is gonna be the best option. I'm gonna go with buy a black poly coated fence. So it blends in a little bit better with nature instead of galvanized steel. So the plan was always to do that. It's just we didn't have the budget to do that last year. So, and as far as cleanup, Jolene does her best in the spring to go around and clean up where she's plowed and pick stuff up. I heard through the grapevine that there might be some volunteers willing to go do that, and I'm gonna say go for it. Because her and I were gonna get together on an off dump day, bring my whole crew over. She would have to come in on overtime with her crew and walk through the woods and clean up. I can offer tobacco and one or two guys to help out with that cleanup with volunteers, because there is trash, tires, etc., that are down over the very steep embankments that are gonna need chains and stuff to lug them up over the hill. And that stuff has been there since the landfill closure. I think it's part of the old landfill, but it's nothing new. It's been there a long time. It's just new that people have seen it and recognized it. So that's the plan with the fence.
Before we move off the fence, so that's when you said the plastic one's coming down and you're gonna replace it with a chicken wire. Do you know when that's gonna happen?
That's gonna be after snow's gone, ground's unfrozen.
Got it. Okay.
It'll be in the spring.
Okay.
And then you said it would require removal each winter, both sections?
A couple of the sections within the fence will need to be removed every winter. You know, in late fall sometime. We'll cut that fence in that section. And get to it before frost, pull the posts out of the ground. And remove that short section. The rest of the fence can stay up in those areas, but where they're putting the snow obviously needs to come down.
Is there a different place to put the snow? Somebody asked me that question. No.
I have a couple spots. I have 3 spots. Yes.
And they fill up.
I get this all. There's other places to put the snow, yes, but it's very labor intensive and it's not worth the time and the money to do that. So the best thing to do is just move those sections and clean up in those areas in the spring.
And it also makes it easier. So when we plow over there, we're plowing all the stuff that blows. And so if I have to move it farther out back where there might be more space, it's more area in the spring that we have to go clean up again.
Okay.
So as things melt where I keep them, it's close and we can do our daily walkthroughs and pick everything that is not frozen anymore.
Just to clarify on the fence, is that all accounted for in the current 2026 budget?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Would you like to tackle this?
The gate / stickers.
Mhm.
Jolene and I are both think the gate is like a last resort until we've tried everything else. I understand that there are out of town people coming in. I don't think it's the numbers that people think it is. I think it's pretty low. I'm thinking like max case scenario, we're looking at 25 people a week coming in. And if you figure out 150 pounds of trash for those 25 people, which is again, on the high side, most people only have like 30, 40 pounds. Times 52 weeks, you're looking at 97.5 ton of trash for a year, which equates to $10,335. But we want to go spend 40,000 plus on a gate. I think that price that we have does not include the electrical. We're going to have to do that, add that into the cost I'm guessing between 5 and 10,000. Then it's going to be the maintenance, and not to mention the added daily maintenance, especially in the winter. They're going to have to hand shovel all around that gate. And I have no idea what the general maintenance for that gate system is. Not a clue.
To buy a gate?
to maintain it
Oh, well,
after it's
The
bought.
wire gate's gonna be astronomical.
Well, it's gonna be 42,000.
Exactly, right. Or I was gonna say 50, but yeah. Then the security of the gate and then maintenance to it,
Yeah.
somebody runs into it.
I think this is like a last ditch effort. Like I said, I don't think we're getting the numbers people think we are. I've dealt with phone calls from people calling me up, telling me that there's septage being brought back into the transfer station. Like, no, there's not. You know, I guess there is. I can see it. And it was not. It was, Jolene was getting her tanks pumped out. So I think
It was going out.
people see what they see and they get angry and it's understandable. I get it, but I don't think the numbers are there to warrant that extreme of measure. I did talk to Jolene today about the dump stickers. So I think there's two options we could go with to try out is either every January we get new stickers and then Jolene is able to sell the stickers there. And so we put up a sign saying new dump stickers are in. So as people come into the transfer station, they get a new sticker. It was transferred to the town clerk so we could keep a better track of who has what sticker and that sort of thing. But I don't think anyone's really looking at it.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
So if you want a dump sticker,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't, I should remember this, but I don't. And you have a company vehicle. I guess I just ran into it at my own residence with my, with we all
Mhm.
have company vehicles, which is registered in Henniker. So to get a dump sticker, to be able to go to the dump, if you were able to get them right there at the dump, what is the proof that you need? Does it have to be a
Usually that would-
registration?
It used to be, utility bill is what we were allowed.
Yeah.
Something showing current that you live in
Right.
town, or a house deed. People have brought those in.
Okay,
before in the
okay.
past, just something that shows, I mean, your license should say that you
Yeah,
live in
yeah.
town too.
So that works, but I think like our town clerk said, well, you have to, I don't know if she was confused, and that's why I'm asking too, because just to clarify, I remember talking about it at one of these meetings, and because a lot of people have
Should-
company
oh,
vehicles,
yes.
that's not a weird thing.
That's why you see out-of-state plates.
That's
in the
right, yes,
transfer
right,
station
that's
all the
right.
time.
People
Nobody's
can't.
driving trash from New York to us.
Can I offer something?
Mm-hmm.
I don't disagree with you, excuse me, on the gate or on, setting things up that are gonna create more of a problem. I
Mm-hmm.
know them pretty well over there and see what they do, and they do a great job. And there's all kinds of people coming in, so you start gating things off, you're gonna have people backed up all the way down the road. It's gonna be crazy. I'd offer the dump sticker thought. We talked about it in Webster, and I think that might be a good idea if it's done in an appropriate way, so it
Mhm.
works. I think that has to be thought through, number one.
Well,
You know,
I just came up with another idea today, actually. Because I just registered my truck the other day. Every year they change the color of your plate registration.
Absolutely, yep.
true.
And I called DMV today and town clerks know the following year what color the sticker's gonna be. So if we had new dump stickers every year, when you go register your vehicle, the color of the dump sticker matches the color of the plate for that year. It's very easy for them to go orange, orange, green, green. We're good. So it doesn't matter that you have 2 different years within that year of stickers that they have to match.
Because every plate doesn't matter. You're gonna have the color.
Unfortunately, inspection stickers used to do the same thing, but I guess we know where that. crazy-
We don't know where that's going.
That's another problem.
Yeah.
Jolene, how hard would it be every so often to have I know you're busy, and I know you got a lot of people there, and you see me come in there, how hard would it be to have a person from the dump just one day every so often, being one day once a month, one day every 2 months, maybe a Saturday, when more than likely that's when people from other towns are coming in? How hard would it be to have them monitor that flow?
Checking stickers.
Yeah, checking stickers.
stickers. It's looking a little more positive right now. I have a good crew and we're finally getting caught up.
And I know your staffing has been up
The
and down.
staffing's been awful.
Yeah, no, I know that.
Everywhere.
I'm just trying to
Yeah.
try and think through a process that's logical, it's easy, it's simple, you know what I'm trying to say?
With the staffing I have now, Possibly, as long as it continues to stay caught up as our summer work starts
Right.
happening. Otherwise, you may have to look into finding somebody that wants to come in and do that for a couple hours during your busy.
You could get a retired person, I'm sure you could find somebody, I mean, that would be willing to do, obviously, it's both communities here, but
Sure, you could ask for volunteers. There's plenty of people that worry about this.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Probably that too, as long as they're given some level of authority from by both, by the community, if you know what I'm saying, to do it. But,
Pretty much, as long as they were to notify employee if they found somebody that wasn't from in town.
right,
It's not about kicking out the residents because they don't have their sticker. It's about finding the people from out of town.
right. I mean, it's not an easy task, so I'm just trying to think of the simplest way.
I also talked
It's
to,
hard.
I did talk to Chief Hennessy today as well, about him covering the situations that we could possibly have over there. And I think that he said probably to start with a sign. You know, they said something like Hopkins and Webster residents only, no trespassing. Any violators will be persecuted.
No admittance
To
from
the
any
full
other
extent of the
community.
law. Yeah, just so something saying that you can't bring your trash.
That makes sense too.
So he can enforce it.
They know. They can't.
Something like that is on the fence.
I was gonna say, isn't that right there as you're driving in on the
Yeah.
right?
It just says you need your sticker.
Oh,
So I have told people to leave that aren't from town before. I've never had a problem asking someone to leave who doesn't belong there. It's just, I think we would have had a problem if we were telling people to leave when they just didn't have a dump sticker and they were actually a resident. That's where the issues.
Like the
cropped
people,
up.
the day I was with you and I saw mass plates and all I was doing was pointing and questioning and those people were not happy that they gave me some gestures when they drove by me after that. So people do get surly and like the day that we, this must have been 2 summers ago. I think your board did too. Our select board split up a couple of Saturdays and went out and volunteered just to like remind people of the sticker situation. And most people are pretty reasonable, but there are some people you get where you're like, yikes, like they get mad really easily. So I know we've talked for a long time about the idea of sort of like staff spot checking. So maybe that is something we can talk about, but I do think extra signage saying no trespassing and naming the 2 towns would be a good place to start. And then just having some sort of like system if things, you know, you wouldn't want things to escalate unnecessarily. And certainly the day we volunteered, you know, I think Jeff had a different standard the day he was out there, but I was out with Ken. And if people seemed like they were gonna get in our face, we were kind of like, okay, well, this is the rule. Or if people had forgotten their license or whatever, and they were like, so, you know, we used our judgment to let people in. But I do think there's like things we could do to create some guardrails around the stickers that would be helpful.
So are you wanting us to enforce stickers or just?
Well, I didn't mean to cut the conversation short I like the color idea. Were there other thoughts on stickers and?
No, that's basically it, just an easy way to determine. That way you could hand out stickers every year. So as people come and go within the town, that you're gonna get a new sticker with your registration. The only issue, we're gonna have issues, no matter what we do with people who have camps, businesses, et cetera, that we need to kind of adjust as we go.
We need to have someone that can approach somebody who's articulable and can ask the question without, you know, without making the approach a negative approach, if you.
It's very hard sometimes.
Well, yeah.
Even with a positive attitude, I've been there, over there.
Yeah.
And I worked there the first 4 years I worked with the town, and some people are just,
And the only right to come to the dump, I
Yeah.
get it, but you know, you still have to control things,
I 100% agree.
you know, and get
Yep.
that aligned.
Yeah.
If we went to this sticker, you know, every January for sale at the transfer station, I mean, would that cause a need for more staff, or is that something that you guys
We
could
had talked
absorb?
about it. It would definitely be a.
They're gonna be busy.
Yeah, that'll be
Okay.
How it goes.
really.
Yeah.
I think that the color change every year, a new sticker is probably the best route to try first.
No, I like that because I think that makes it easier to know if someone doesn't have an up-to-date sticker. I just want to make sure that if we're asking you guys to do something, that you have the staff
Yeah.
to actually do it.
And I know in the past, people there are people that will not stick the sticker to the car, and if that's the case, then I don't know what we're gonna do, because they could really go from car to car and give it to their friend to bring in, if you're that worried about it. I don't know. So how far you want to do this?
Well, you bring up a good point, but I mean, if they're putting it on the windshield, it's easily scrapable.
Yeah.
They put it in the left corner and easy for staff to see. There isn't gonna be an inspection sticker there maybe, so I mean, it puts the sticker where the other one was.
Yeah.
And I just don't see, I gotta be truthful, I don't see it as a problem, you know, I have no problem putting a sticker on my car. Having Jolene approach me and say, do you still live in Webster? You know, I'm not gonna fly through the roof on it.
You're part of the normal.
I'm a reasonable person.
Normal
Totally-
people. But I'm just letting you know, there are the not normal people.
Totally get it.
Yeah.
You don't know me and I totally get it.
Yep.
And what I'm saying to you is that how we can make it simple and, you know, how we can make it simple, how we can make it safe, and how we can make it so people can be approached.
Mhm.
And I think too, that some communication to both communities is that we're not, you know, you just don't do this. There's some communication that's necessary.
Mhm.
And we get that up, maybe some handouts at the dump, or maybe we put it on the board in Webster and you folks have your communication systems up here. I totally get it. Yeah, you know, it's not
I
a,
think-
yeah.
I think we're overthinking it a little bit. I think already, if you're getting updated stickers, and then we already deal with people that come to us with concerns about certain residents, and we have no problem going and approaching people that are questionable. And usually there's perfectly reasonable response. I had a guy that owns property in town and has a business in Pennacook. And so people were very concerned about him, but he has, unless we're gonna be ripping into his trash every time, it's not, he has a right. It's
I'm
not,
gonna see, I was just kind of thinking this out with where I ran into the problem of, oh my God, I can't even go to the dump because all my stuff is registered in Henniker, okay, where our business is. But at the same token, I thought to myself, well, you're gonna know if all of a sudden I show my license and I'm coming in with, a total tear down or a, you know what I mean? That's gonna do red flags, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal, I wouldn't think, but.
I mean, Jolene sees me rolling once a week in my company van, bringing in my household trash, so she's very used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying, and I think that's what you
200%.
just were saying,
Yes.
is, there's this, because it's not like there's staff turnover every other week, that might be more of a problem, you know what you see what you see.
we recognize a lot of people.
Yeah.
You can usually tell when somebody doesn't know what they're doing in there
Mhm.
and they park the wrong direction or drive the wrong direction.
That would probably be-
So coming.
Hey, he's
to
not
the
supposed to
two-
notice that I did that.
Going back to, I think, the two easiest, lowest lift options, one, putting an additional sign, just informing like the enforcement of stickers, and then doing color matching stickers. Who would actually do this? Because I don't necessarily assume that Jolene would sit down on Canva and design a sign and get it printed and cost it out, because she has a whole other job to do.
Signs are not hard. We
Okay,
can have
cool.
a sign made up.
Awesome. I don't want to make any assumptions, because I know you're always running around every time I'm over there.
I think the stickers you'd have to implement, next year. They're already into January, people already registered their cars, so I think that would be a next year thing. If you want to do the color route. Or you could start now, you're just gonna miss some January people.
They can just be informed to come in.
Yeah, or you.
Just like the
February people.
inspections.
Right. You have to wait.
January, people are gonna be like, I don't
Um,
know what sticker to put on my car.
So my thinking here is that the sign makes perfect sense because it's hey, we have the legal
Yeah.
authority and we will scare tactic. And yes, there's some cost involved in a sign, but not much. And it's not man time for constantly doing things. I like the concept of the month-based matching stickers, but you end up with a couple challenges there. One is that you're dealing with, well, are they registering with our clerks in the first place? If they're registering an out of town company vehicle, they're not. And then do they have extra stickers for that particular month to then sell at that point at the transfer station? Or like, there's a lot of needs to be thought about if that's going to happen.
That would be a pretty simple solution.
And I don't really want to put a whole lot of extra effort onto transfer station staff, knowing that they've had challenges with getting enough people to do the work that they have already. The second thing is you have to think about that bypass path and what that means for what people are going to do. The obvious answer, which I think is currently the case, is if you're in a vehicle that you don't have a sticker on, you can show your license or something that says, see, I am a resident, and you can continue to use that vehicle. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's how it works currently. And that's fine. But if you're doing this and then, well, why would somebody with a company vehicle ever bother to go get a sticker for it? They just show that they're local every time they show up. And so now you've got a whole set of people that, well, I don't need to get a sticker. I'm just going to show that I can do this just like anybody with a company vehicle. And so all of these kinds of fairness issues are going to come out. So have to be thought through completely before you try to do an implementation.
So I think, just to answer quickly, some of those right off the bat is, like 2027 is orange. They told me that DMV today. So we already know. So it's not going to change month to month. It's just when you come in or get your car inspected, you'll get a new. So the town clerk will have a bunch of orange stickers, and then come November, December, we'll order green, which is going to be for 2028, by the way. So we already know ahead of time what the color is going to be, and that's for the whole year. So as you register your car, you get a new sticker. Now, as far as the businesses go, come into the transfer station, say, I'm a resident, this is the truck that I'm driving, and here's my license, and it says Town of Webster right on it. Jolene has stickers there and could offer a sticker right there. So the businesses still have stickers. So if they're not showing a license or something else, well, you're going to have to prove that you're from town before we allow your business to. You need something that says you live in Webster.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So, I mean, we can skirt that right away, and everyone gets a sticker.
Sounds like a simple process, and I think it probably is, to be very frank.
It is simple. There is going to be the people that own the camps that they'll have to bring a deed or something else in to say, hey, I own property.
And you made a good point. As long as Jolene has her staff
Yeah.
and she have the stickers.
Yeah. I think some of the problem, we were trying to keep, Jolene told me they were trying to keep better track of who was getting stickers. You know, each sticker had a number so they could electronically do it, but Jolene doesn't have that capability to contact the software here or your place to say this person's getting this. So she was handwriting everything. So it all moved to the town clerks. I think we bring it back to the transfer station along with the town clerks.
Do a yearly color where it doesn't
Right.
matter.
She doesn't have to keep track of, well, she will still have to keep track of who's getting what, but you'll have their vehicle.
But only the people that
They're
don't
like-
come here and get it, or
Right.
our town.
Right.
When you go to the town clerk, you say, I've got 6 trucks or whatever,
Yeah.
and I get 6 or 7 stickers, and you know what I'm saying?
Vicky, do you want to talk?
Yeah, hi everybody. I just have two thoughts, or a question and a thought. The first thing is, I think we should do more than one sign. If you blink, you could miss it. So I think we should do one on the outer fence, one halfway down the driveway, and one before you turn left toward the recycling area. That way it's less likely that people will miss it if they're looking at their phone or sneezing or something. And second of all, I'm wondering if we go to matching the color of the plate registration stickers, does that mean we can abandon the individually numbered nature of the stickers?
See why not?
I think that would be the idea, right? Stop trying to do the whole tracking.
Mm-hmm.
I think, Vicky, yeah, that would be the idea, is just move to a color and get rid of those little tiny numbers on the stickers.
I think at the end, we need to make people that you have to stick it to your car, whether you like to or not, just so it's they're not moving it from vehicle to vehicle as
You're
well.
going to want to, yeah, you can do that with a color one because then you don't have to put that it's Hopkinton or Webster. Because that is the concern, is that we get people at the hospitals, people that work with patients, or people that work at the prisons that do not want people at their jobs to know where they're from.
Yeah. Got it.
So,
So the simple solution to that is to do like I did, because of the same reason, stick the sticker to a piece of cardboard, put it in your glove box or put it,
I have a lot of people that do that.
and just put it, I mean, you know, and that's a simple thing to just communicate to people when they come. If you don't want to put this on your window, just put it on a piece of cardboard, put it in the window when you're at the dump and put it back.
I think the problem with that though is recognizing that the vehicles, without stopping them and holding stuff up, is just a quick orange for them. So then I have to go up and say, do you have a dump sticker?
But if it's in the window on a piece of cardboard.
If they put it there, yeah.
Well,
It's also a between
Yeah.
vehicles thing and
Well,
cylinders.
right, that's what we're getting at. I don't think we're gonna have a 100% end-all solution here.
no, you're not.
So it's just,
But
Correct.
again, she's gonna get a little suspicious if this car comes in and then.
well,
say-
she knows a lot, but she doesn't know every
Yeah.
single time what's coming in and out.
True.
You know?
Don't tell me that Jolene doesn't know everything. She knows everything. She's knowing.
Yeah. It's just very easy to take that piece of cardboard and give it to your friends. Say, just take this and go over here.
So maybe, I do think if we were to do this, it would make sense to do it next year. So if people are okay with it, maybe we could put this like a few months out to revisit and get our act together on this and.
And I think you're gonna wanna do, like, when you decide, yes, we're doing this at, say, January, the thing that you're gonna wanna do is make sure that you've properly set the fee schedule for the stickers to match the overhead of doing it, as well as the cost of the stickers for the different locations, which is gonna be different than it is now, hopefully lower. Because you're not gonna have to deal with trying to track it and put it all in spreadsheets and share that around anymore.
And the cheaper it is, the more people you get to comply.
Just to say, if it could be free, so to speak, that would be the ideal, right? You want to
I
remove
think
as many
it
barriers.
was like
but-
$2 or something, and it's $5 now, so like if it were $1 or something.
It was
for-
$1 when I started,
Okay.
free when green bags were in. Except I believe at you guys' town hall, I think you guys still charged $1.
So we
I
can
don't
figure
know
out what is
why.
the lowest possible
Yeah.
price that we can do.
But I,
because-
like, if the sticker itself is, you know, cheap and it's like $1, just so someone has to do an actual transaction and show up and show, you know, license or a bill or something, that's probably good at that point. Because you're not looking for a high-end numbered serialized trackable sticker that can't be peeled off anymore. So I think you can get by with something that's a lot less expensive than the previous stickers.
No writing on it, just the color. I misunderstood you when you were saying something there about people that don't want to reveal, because we're not gonna have Webster or Hopkinton or anything on it. What is
If
it?
you do it that
probably
way,
want
then you could
something
request
that
that
says
they-
a transfer station sticker, but not necessarily the towns.
Originally, we just had an A and B when I worked there.
Mm, yep,
A was one town, B was
I mean,
another
keep
town.
it simple and just.
Yeah.
just do a H&W.
Yeah.
We don't need to wait to do the signs though, right? Like, we can do those now. And then can we come back to this summer? Because ideally, everything is hammered out by like before the next budget season begins. We don't have the excuse of, oh, it's budget season, but we also have to get this done and there's this crunch time in the fall. Like, if we could finish this in the summer and just like stack it away for January as opposed to waiting until November, December to finish it and roll it out in January, that would be.
Yeah, when does the January, how early can you come in and get registered for January? Is it November?
That would be a town clerk question.
Well, I'm just
think
thinking-
it-
Sorry,
it's
my
16
birthday's
months.
my birthday's in February and I get my letter to renew my registration in November.
Cause I think we want
I think it's a 3-month window.
3 months.
3 months. Yeah, so I think
I've lived my entire life thinking you have to do it the month.
So I think the 3 signs, I think she made a good point. The 3, or the other select board member did, 3 signs, and I think do that, start with that. And then move down the road to your colored stickers as all mentioned.
I do have a small problem with the 3 signs. we call it sign pollution. When you get too many signs, people just ignore them and they're gonna ignore all of them. Let's put 2 and we'll go from there.
Yeah, the giant one that says no right-hand turns, nobody sees
Yeah.
that one.
Or the gate that's on the right-hand side that says do not enter.
We're close.
So you leave the left side open and they show up.
Some days you might need a speed limit sign. in
Yeah. Yeah.
In my mind, it would make sense to have one down near the gate or maybe as part of or replacing the existing sign for the stickers that's down by the gate. And then it would make sense to have one up near the hopper. Those are the 2 places that would kind of make sense to me if you're doing more than one, but I don't know.
I think maybe
what
like
everybody thinks.
halfway up where the metal roll off is, but on the road,
Mhm.
put it on the fence line right there, because it kind of narrows up and people are gonna see that. It's gonna stick right out. It's gonna be in the middle of nothing. So there's no trees around it. All you have is the cap and the sign just sitting there.
With all the flashing neon
Yeah.
lights.
And we can make it like a bright yellow or something like that, so it stands out as well.
For nighttime too.
So we need to have it ready before November. Sorry, coming back to the stickers.
No
We
problem.
need to have stickers ready before November.
The signs can be, I'll need less than a month.
That's amazing.
And you said next year is gonna be green.
Next year's orange, 2028 is green.
Is it too early to start messaging in like July? You know, put something out there and just, it's coming,
Yeah,
put it on the
messaging
website.
We have it
Yeah.
totally tied up, yeah.
I
And
think
then just-
I don't think there's any kind of too early.
Yeah,
I think the only thing that you need is to make sure that all of the decisions have been made
Right.
before you're saying you need to do this now.
We are moving toward,
Yeah.
the
And-
communication.
And I don't want to jump topics too quickly, but there is one that I do want to know about, which is I know in January, our contract for waste removal changed. And I know that our previous joint meeting, there was all kinds of discussion of what that may or may not be, whether it's using existing trailers or not, having to sell trailers or not, what the pricing may be. What did we end up with? Because I know at least a few different people were going to be working on negotiating that. So where did that end up?
We landed with another 5-year contract with Waste Management. It was by far the most cost-effective solution. This year, the trailer per load price, haul price is 106, did I tell you this morning? Per ton. And then there's the other 350 and all that's up the fees for DES, which get reimbursed. The trailers, I don't know, I'll let Dan update you on that.
So part of the contract was if we kept our own trailers, the price was gonna be significantly higher. And it just made sense to use their trailers. We're currently having issues with that. As far as them hooking up to the wall and not, in my opinion, not having enough. We should have an extra trailer sitting there ready to go. And so far, hopefully they're gonna work with us in the near future about adjusting that.
How much are you charging per trailer? Per trailer, I think you said that.
How much they
Per
what?
ton or per trailer, when they take it away? How much?
It's per ton,
Per ton.
Yeah.
How much was that?
106
Six.
This year, and it creeps up each year a little bit.
over the next 5 years. So with that being said, I'm suggesting that we possibly keep one of the newer trailers where we're having issues with this company, but sell the other ones. We have one that's brand new that has not seen any trash in it at all.
Are these the trailers we purchased?
Yeah,
Yeah. How much can you get for a trailer?
well, we paid, the latest was 113,000 for the newest trailer. And I did have some people on the hook. Oxford, Maine was interested, but they can't buy one until June. I said, well, if we still have it by then, you can buy it for sure.
How many trailers?
And I told them 105 for that new one.
How many are we looking at?
So we're looking at one that's a year old, one that's a year and a half, 2 years old, and the other 3 are over 10. They've been rebuilt several times. We're not gonna get a whole lot for those.
5 total.
Correct.
What are you thinking for the other 3 that are 10?
we're gonna be lucky if we get scrap price for them.
What do? Do we split that money between the two communities, or how do we deal with it?
So you'd get your 25%. It's everything's the whatever the percentage is. I think it's 25.
Yeah, we paid in the capital
Yeah.
improvement.
That's what we
money,
pay.
and
Yeah.
so
Just
we-
trying to educate myself.
Yeah, so that's what you get back.
Yeah, okay. Well, it sounds like you're trying to get the best you can. So.
Yeah.
Capital improvement is normally done differently than the budget. So how would you be anticipating that sale showing up as revenue in the budget and then offsetting the budget? Or
That's-
would you
That's
anticipate that just?
a somebody else's
Yeah.
question, not me.
Yeah, Kelly and I started talking about that the other day and we didn't quite get ourselves through the process. But it would come in as revenue and whether we credited it on the invoice or actually, sent you a check or something like that. We're not quite sure how that'll play out, but definitely we'll make sure you get it.
How many trailers altogether, Dan? And 2 new ones, right? Or just 1 new one?
One brand new one,
Yeah.
one fairly new, and the other 3 are way over 10 years old.
Which one are you gonna keep, Dan? One of the older ones? Or-
No, one of the newer ones. 'Cause
Yeah.
the older ones are getting, so they're not roadworthy.
Got it. Thanks.
Yep.
What other topics do we have?
But I'm not gonna keep it for very long. I just wanna make sure this new trailer system's gonna work out.
Not that we would wanna keep something for that long just because, but how likely is it that we'll never want to use a trailer like this again?
I have no
versus
idea.
In 5 years, oh yeah, you should really have the wet system again.
I thought about that, but there's no way to tell, and if you keep the trailer too long, and now it's just degrading.
Mhm.
And it's gonna start rusting, even though it's never been used or used very little, it's going to start degrading. I mean, we're talking 5 years from now, that trailer's gonna look a lot different than it does right now.
It's very expensive 5-year statue.
Do you guys have, if we move on from the trailers, or do you have other things you want to ask? Because we had the recycling numbers and what we can do to support the transfer station still on the list. But I don't
And
wanna cut you
also
off.
what, if anything, we should be imminently aware of that needs repair.
Right,
at
right.
the transfer station.
But do you guys have other things that are pressing that you want
Let's
to?
move on your list, I think.
Okay. So do we want to talk recycling?
So as you can see from the numbers, recycling is up just a little bit. It's fairly level from the whole green bag. I mean, it's not quite a year, but it's pretty much close enough. When we get rid of the green bags, I know that was a question.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty level. It's up just a tiny bit. Same with the metal recycling. It's just about level. The one that really sticks out is demolition. That has gone down significantly. We went from 421 tons in 2024 down to 347. Yeah.
And that dip down, I mean, we only have, 2 years. Is that an anomaly, or is that? Do you think? that's
I think
actually-
when we raised the rates, a couple of our local contractors started
Bringing
taking
some
their
of
stuff
that
elsewhere.
back, right?
Yeah.
To put a little bit of color into that for you, I would have had all of these in my fun chart that I've made before. But demo for 22 was 269 and demo for 23 was 336. And so I think we're kind of seeing that continued trajectory where it went up as people were continuing to do all of the renovations coming out of lockdown and similar, or getting rid of stuff when they did. And then now that prices are higher and people are doing less of that and being a little bit more normal, now we're back down to the kind of more normal 347-ish number.
Do you have pre-COVID by chance?
Sure. So. when-
Dave had pre-COVID. Really?
Well, I-
No, kidding.
I wouldn't normally, but I had to deep dive into this the last time we did it, so.
It's a loaded question.
20 up and the numbers that existed start for demo specifically started around 2013, 2014, stayed at about 200 at about 2017 to 2016 to 2018 was about 250. And then it started going up. 2019 was 291, 336, 331, 269, 336, and then the two in front of you.
Okay. So 24 was the most demo we've done.
We had a porterhouse that came to the dump in that year.
A what house?
Porterhouse
Oh, got
had
it.
a giant cleanup that came through our demo pile.
A
Wow.
lot of names I was thinking.
She wants to. Nikki, talk to us.
I was just wondering if Jolene had any luck moving some of that brittle plastic that was giving her a hard time when we had our walkthrough in the spring, the Rubbermaid bins kind of
We-
plastic.
No, we had to hopper that.
I figured, but I thought I would ask.
Yeah, I think they wanted more money than it cost to throw it in the trash.
Jolene, did I understand you? You said you had a house come through that you had
Hoarder.
A hoarder house.
There was a hoarder house cleanup.
order. house.
Yeah.
Bunch of,
Yeah,
bunch of,
so the
bunch of,
outside yard.
Yeah.
was
Oh,
the-
okay, I get
Yeah.
it. I thought you had a.
Well, that's what I was just saying there. I said, well, I could have made a lot of words out of that.
Just, all right, my
You-
misunderstanding.
um,
How often do you get the chance to roll up these numbers like this? Is it just upon request or is it something
What's
you do
that?
each year? The recycling numbers that we're looking at right now.
We put them in the town report every
And
year.
they're town for every year.
So can I ask you a question? Didn't we jointly have a committee between both communities that dealt with
Hmm.
assisting you and working together? What all happened? What, I mean, that was
We have the
before.
chair in the audience.
We rewrote the agreement.
Where's the
because-
rest of your members? Are they existent?
Oh, you mean the recycling? committee?
Didn't we have a committee that sort of worked together with both communities, members from both communities, to deal with these issues, so to speak?
Committee called the Hopkinton Register Refuse Disposal Committee.
Where did that
was
go?
Both towns.
Uh-huh.
Sort of an ancient setup, got changed, can't remember what year, 2 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Because basically what it said legally in that document is that to do in the transfer station. Then select board had nothing to do with it. And it was like, oh, well, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so that all got changed with the new agreement that we did and
Okay.
had presented to voters in 24.
Because a member asked me today, a member of that committee asked me today, I knew we had this agreement, I have time to look at the agreement, busy day. And so I appreciate, but so there's no longer a committee
Well,
other than us dealing with this.
there's the Hopkinton Waste Reduction,
Okay.
is trying to focus on reducing the amount of waste. And Mary Jo McGowan is on that
Okay.
committee. So that's meant to be anybody from Webster who wants to join it is more than welcome.
Do you have any Webster members on it? Probably not.
Mary Jo.
Oh, Mary Jo, yeah, okay. Okay.
Do you guys have any sense of whether the fees that we're charging right now are appropriate?
I think they're lined up with the prices. The only thing Jolene just came to me, Demo got back to her today with a significant price increase because apparently they undercharged us for 2025.
Oh, really? How significant?
So they had emailed me last year. Let's see. It was supposed to be $415 per load trucking fees. And then per ton for the different, let's see, our demo pile was quoted at 122 and they charged us 117 all year. Our source separated wood was quoted at 85 and they charged us 80. And shingles were 115 and they charged us 103. And so I think what it sounds like is they're looking to decide what they want to charge us this year to maybe recoup what they lost themselves last year.
Who picks up the demo?
We work with ERCO. They're out of Epping. And we've worked with them for 18 years.
ERCA, you said?
Mhm.
And they can set the price every year.
Yeah, usually it's a small increase as everything's going up. So I was a little surprised this year when I haven't received my rates yet.
Yeah.
So are we gonna have to update our fee schedule once you get those rates from the hauler?
It would probably be a good idea, yes.
Do you have a sense of when you might get those rates?
I am.
Or they land in your
waiting,
inbox?
yes.
Yeah. I noticed that looking on the items requiring proper disposal, that last page, there's a lot of stuff here that, you know, the expenses far exceed the revenue. And I didn't know if any of these items, you know, we may want to think about looking at the price again for disposal.
So correct me if I'm wrong, tires are no longer allowed in their trash, correct?
Right, we have to pay.
So we have to pay that regardless to get rid of those.
I mean, if you look at the totals, you could charge for some a little bit, but we're really, I mean, we're making money on some of these things
For
that
sure.
we're charging for.
Yeah.
So the difference between the revenue and expenses is not as big as it looks in some of the singular lines.
Yep. Okay.
So if you want to offset it more than it's being offset, we can look at that. Otherwise, we can just kind of let it ride and not charge everybody for every little tiny thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing I'll point out there is like when we had the giant discussion with all of the fees and resetting everything in the new agreement, and when we actually updated everything, we had a good discussion about a lot of those things. For example, the fluorescent bulbs and household batteries, and the key takeaway from that was, yes, we're going to lose a little bit of money on it, but it's far better than having it end up in the actual hopper for trash when
Yeah.
we know, for example, the batteries in the trash is actually a problem.
Really bad. Yeah.
And so making sure that that was free, so there was no reason for anybody not to give them a battery instead of throwing it in the trash, was the impetus for making sure that that fee was set at nothing.
And I can't imagine trying to charge people per battery
Oh
when
my
they.
And I don't disagree with any of that. I mean, we have the numbers here, so I
Right.
just thought it was.
But
worth
I,
asking.
you know,
Yeah.
the full picture makes sense. So like those are the two items that like don't have revenue at all.
Right. Right.
Besides waste oil, which doesn't have anything of anything. So, yeah.
Two more recycling questions. In the past, not in the past, when we did the tour, you had talked about how one of the recycling programs had been discontinued, the hard plastics.
Mhm.
Are there any other programs that you're aware of that might be on the chopping block that would impact our recycling program?
Not that I know of.
That's great. I'm just curious.
Yeah. Is there any chance that comes back?
The rigids,
Yeah.
I think we were the only people doing that.
And then in the past, you've put out announcements to folks, warning, so to speak, about, hey, stop doing XYZ or it's going to put our program at risk if we keep messing up? Are there any programs that we are currently accidentally, as citizens, putting at risk by not following the rules?
No, I think there's always contamination. It is a mess. And unfortunately, I wish I could get it out there. If you're not learning your recycling, it's being thrown away because we don't have time to sort everything. So when you put it in the wrong spot, it gets picked up and it goes in the trash. But we're on top of that enough. It's not like the rigid plastic where 75–80% of what was going in there did not belong in there.
Mhm.
So the rest is controllable.
Awesome, thank you.
I seem to recall relatively new signs, like explaining to people, was that last year or the year before, maybe? I think
Year
some-
before, I
some
believe.
refresh.
Mhm.
So people are sort of holding steady in terms of like, there's obviously some contamination, but most people by and large are following the rules.
I have the best luck with people just talking to them.
Yeah, and explaining.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We have tried signs with lots of explanations on them. You've seen the signs in the back that have the simple, if it's a number 1 and it's colored, or a number 2 and it's colored,
Yeah.
it goes here. And there is no one sign that works for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
The things that are supposed to inform us also
Confuse us.
confuse us and clear our vision a lot.
I put a sign in the number 2s warning people, these are number 1s. They should go in the number 1s. And I can't tell you how many people mistake it and think that that's a sign
The
of
new
what goes in
location.
here.
Yeah.
So.
With the 1s and 2s, I know there's, like, it's only supposed to be bottles, for example.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of 1s and 2s that are not bottles.
Correct.
Is there any chance that we'll start seeing that accepted in the recycling program?
None of the vendors that I know of that work with our recycling broker will buy those. The recycling number on the bottom is way too general of a category. And so when you get the non-bottle shaped items, some of them are used for like your soup comes in them. They're meant to go in the microwave, so they add in a chemical so it doesn't melt in the microwave. And there's nothing on those shaped plastics that says if that's in there or not. So the vendors won't buy them.
Just a note for anyone watching the recording later that recycling is not altruistic, it is a capitalist program designed to both confuse consumers, but then make money off of those who do recycle. That's all.
Editorial?
Yeah, this is just there's some people I meet who, through the amazing marketing of the plastics industry, truly believe that recycling is an altruistic thing in which there is not a fair amount of money exchanged in the buying of goods and the work on the consumer's back. And I just want folks to know that they should recycle. Recycling is very good, do it, but also that no one does it because it's a good thing.
Well, and
Say.
to your point and there's been a couple different exposés and documentaries on this. Several of the recycle symbols are still currently not recyclable in any way, shape, or form. It's in case we can someday. It's
Yeah, the
this
recycling
category.
symbol doesn't actually mean recycling.
So how do you like figure that out?
We can talk about that later. I won't
We
take. the whole
don't.
thing, but,
You're allowed to
Just
take.
for the general public.
No, I always appreciate your take on things.
I want to be aware of Jolene and Dan's time. So are there things that we could be doing to be more helpful, or big ticket things you want to get on our radar for the budget next year, or just anything you want to bring to us?
At some point, we need to address the recycling area itself, as far as the building goes and everything else.
It would look
Can I
much
make a
nicer.
Statement without you
Mhm.
getting angry at me.
I'm not gonna get angry.
You know what frustrates me? I'm a guy that likes to go to the dump, get rid of whatever I gotta get rid of and get out of there.
Mhm.
It gets very frustrating when there's pickers up there near you know what I'm saying? And they leave their cars there for 10, 15, 20 minutes and
We do try our best to go
I know
out
you
and
do.
use people to move I have a couple old ladies that refuse to listen, but most of my regular pickers, all I have to do is poke my head out and go, hey, I got a line going, and they know to either leave or move their car somewhere else.
So I'm sure you're familiar with the fellow with the mule and the pickup truck that comes in
Yeah.
against the metal. It would be nice if we're gonna allow them to do that, they parked on the other side.
Did you say mule?
The mule, yeah,
Just side by side.
side by side.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay, thank you.
Sorry, side by
She
side.
is never usually in one spot very long anywhere in the
Well, I
transfer
just,
station,
an
but-
observation. But the others tend to be a little bit frustrating when you just want to get in and throw those bags of garbage in and get out of there.
I feel that we try to move them along,
Yeah.
but also when they take stuff, we don't have to get.
You know,
rid
I'm
of
thinking
it.
the shopping area might, you know, as we plan and look at things, the shopping area could be in a little different, better location. Maybe
Maybe, except that it's like in the best location for us to actually manage it and maintain it and clean it out when it's time.
okay. Just understand my frustration.
As far,
I do,
as far as,
very much.
as far as flow goes, that transfer station was designed all wrong. All wrong.
Completely
Yeah,
backwards.
well, I'm not
Yeah, the
trying
trash,
to be Mr. Negative. I'm just
no, I agree with you.
sharing my
The
frustration.
trash should
It's
have
a
been
very small
the first
facility.
thing you get rid of when you come in, where the attendants are, so they could go through all the vehicles. The very first thing.
Not
can't
let
just
people
reverse
drive
the
by the
flow.
demos before they
We
come to the
can.
office.
If we have about 20 some odd $1 million, we could probably change everything.
I'm just like, why can't we have the cars driving the other direction?
True.
I'm sometimes I am a very like funny person, don't get me wrong, but I am truly.
There's
just
still
like, yeah, the cars just
either
drive-
direction that you drive past pay items before you get to the office. So if you come in this way, you're coming past the tires, metal, which is not a big deal, all my Freon stuff.
I see what you're saying, yeah, so
Yeah.
regardless, you're hitting the thing you
Yes.
should be hitting
The
first, in
office
the
is
middle, no
in
matter
the
which way
middle
you're
of
going.
everything.
Excellent. When you mentioned the recycling building, I've been hearing about the recycling building since I moved to town in 2018. It's been brought up since then as like someday. Is it?
It's gonna be,
in the CIP? It is in the CIP.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how-
it's way out because it's gonna be a significant cost. And we're talking ripping down that whole building and basically starting over with concrete walls instead of wood. So the loader's not destroying stuff when they go in to scoop material out or put stuff in behind.
Now, having no sense as to what a building like that possibly could cost, if we were doing a building like that at that time, is that the time to fix other things about the transfer station, such as the flow?
You'd have to move so much stuff and you're talking multi-millions of dollars. You know, instead of under $1 million, you're gonna be spending way over.
Yeah, then when you're looking at moving the scale and the
Yeah,
balers.
Yeah,
Those are big pieces of
I
equipment.
think we're kind of stuck with what we have
Okay.
to fix a little issue. I think we're just leave it the way it is.
You get my steps in chasing everyone down.
Any other pressing questions?
Good.
Y'all are pretty self-sufficient, obviously. You do an amazing job with the resources that you have and the staff that you have. There is an entire waste reduction committee in Hopkinton. There's 2 select boards. What, if anything, can we be doing to support you and or the transfer station? You could also think on it and send notes to Karen, but just naming like, we have all this support and it is best directed when we understand where you need the support versus where we're guessing you need the support.
I think coming, helping clean up in the spring would be a great place to start.
Excellent.
Yeah. If
Okay.
you want a deeper clean than what you can see as you're driving through, we do a pretty good job with that.
Yeah.
When's that cleanup plan for? Yeah. Do
Excuse
you have a
me?
date? When the
No,
cleanup-
it's when the snow's gone.
Oh,
So there's 2 different things that will happen in the spring. One is the Waste Reduction Committee always hosts a cleanup day on Earth Day in which folks kind of fan across the town and do a cleanup. And then on the
Conservation Commission does that as well.
yeah, and so it's a pretty common thing. And then the other side of that is I run a sustainable eco shop. And one of the things we'll be doing in the spring that we've wanted to do is volunteering and gathering volunteers to come and help do some cleanup
at the dump.
at the dump as well.
Is that associated with the swap shop or no? Okay.
Nope, we're witching hour right in Kentucky.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So can you kind of,
Completely outside.
Completely outside of all of this, yeah.
can you get that date to us? I might like to show up and help you. That's why I'm asking for the.
Yeah,
when you do, when you
when we
can.
get close, we'll
Yeah.
send it
We'll
out.
definitely circulate it to you guys.
I assume that would be something that we would hope would be announced at town meetings for towns, if that's known.
Saying it's coming down the pike, even if we
Yeah.
don't agree exactly.
Like
Yeah.
what we would say is because it would, here's the thing, it would not necessarily, yes, it is a town volunteer thing. But for insurance purposes, I feel like I'm cautious to be like it's run through the town. And rather an outside organization with permission from the dump is coming in, because I just think about the insurance stuff around.
It's a
moving
volunteer
washes.
local outing.
Yes,
How's that?
yes. Likely corresponding with Earth Day because folks are already thinking about that stuff. But as soon as we nail it down outside of this, we'll put
Right,
it
I think
everywhere
it's
again.
planned, a town meeting is a nice time to
Absolutely.
announce we need help. So,
We do have those volunteer waivers that, that would cover us.
Awesome.
anytime.
Thank
Yeah.
you, guys. Bonnie, I just don't want to keep them here. We are gonna do public comment, but do you have like a specific question for Dan and Jolene?
No, but while I have both.
Can we mic you? I had,
So
think you
is
couldn't
it
hear
for
you
the
before.
select boards? Okay, can I just release Dan and Jolene?
Yeah.
I have one question that may or may not involve them. Dan may have more information or not than the select board, but I do want to touch on and figure out what we know and what's going to happen with the slip of the cap.
Yeah.
That's coming up. And I'm hoping Dan will stick around for a little bit into my town administrator updates. Because, sorry, Dan.
Sorry, Dan.
I owe you
Thank
big
you.
time.
Jolene, thank you.
Thank you,
so
Jolene.
much.
Thank you.
Deep appreciation.
Thanks for being here.
Sorry, Dan.
Slip of the cap.
Wait, that's what you just said. Oh, bye, Dan.
Right, ask away.
Bonnie Christie, 302 Smithfield Road, Kentucky. I just wanted to let everybody know, this is just a public service announcement, that the Waste Reduction Committee and the library are co-sponsoring a program on waste on February 19th. And we have 3 speakers. Mike Nork, he has a very long title, but he's in the waste division at DES. And Paige Wilson, who is also in the waste division at DES, and Jolene. So those 3 will be there. The topic that's going to be addressed, 3 questions. How much waste do we dispose of a year? This is statewide. Second, what's in that waste? And third, what's the state plan to manage it? So I think we'll learn a lot from that. The state did something called a waste categorization study a couple of years ago, where they literally went to transfer stations and landfills and literally picked out random bits of stuff and separated it into components and put together a lot of data on, what we produce. And they indicated on that how much of those things, very large percentage, could be deterred from going to the landfill and is not. So that's basically throwing money into the landfill.
And they just had an update on that a month or 2 ago, where they changed the numbers to reflect less recyclables, because they were counting recycling centers as well that were 100%. And so they removed those from the calculation.
Yeah, that's actually a different study, but yeah.
What's the date on that?
February 19th, 6:30 to 8:30 at the library in the community room. So we'd love to have some of you guys there.
6:30 p.m.
6:30 p.m. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so oh yeah, are we gonna talk about the
Yeah, so
cap?
I wanted to, talk about the landfill cap.
Back up.
Back up. So was it probably about a month ago, we had a phone conversation with our friends at Novus. And we asked them to get us an idea of what it would take to do this in a phased, with a phased approach as opposed to all at once.
And we're looking at like 400,000 to do the phased section, which is half the cost. But it's a roll of the dice. My personal opinion is spend the 800, fix it right. I don't want to look at that, but if we get another 6-inch plus rainstorm in a 12-hour event, then you're looking at possibly spending $800,000 to fix the fix we just did. So that's my opinion. It's up to the two boards to decide.
What's your timeline on this?
As soon as possible. We're actually looking to possibly incorporate that repair in with the cesspool closure to possibly save money.
Is DES giving us any time frame for fixing the cap?
As of yet, no.
As of this point in time, DES isn't really involved because it's a repair.
Yeah, we're not.
Had we punctured the
Right.
liner or something like that, we would have a bigger DES issue.
We're not touching anything underneath. It's all on top.
And nothing is being covered by insurance or warranty or anything else at
I
this
have
time?
still need to
And we're
push a little harder on that.
30 some odd years out. I think any warranty is long gone.
That magical 50-year warranty. Dan.
Right.
The challenge in all of this is that the CIP had put this expense in next year's budget. 2027.
Mhm. So the phase would be a temporary, you spend 400 grand for a temporary fix. Okay. And then if we did do that, and I think I probably agree with you on the approach, but if we did do that, then what, next year, another 400 grand to like finalize?
I think they'd have to rip up a lot that they've done the first time to try to patch in.
Okay.
And what is Novus just giving you an estimated cost of what they think?
Ballpark, yeah.
Ballpark, and then, but yet then they'll draw up what has to happen as they.
That's pretty much, that's all drawn up. I don't think there's any like architectural plans for what needs to
Yeah.
be done, but it's basic. Remove the surface, replace the pipes that they think are damaged, and then replace the draining sand. And
Kind
then-
of like a large septic in a
And then
sense,
the
leach
loam on
field.
top. Yeah, basically, yes. We're trying to get water conveyed off the cap as quickly as possible without it shifting. They think one of the drainage pipes in there collapsed, or a woodchuck or something got in there and plugged it up, and they don't know. I mean, we can't, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. We did go up and do some test pits. They did see some sand, loam going down into the sand, which is gonna hinder your water from flowing through the sand. So it's, like I said, it's a roll of the dice.
How quickly could they do the work if we said, go do it? Do we have any idea yet?
I don't have any idea on
Yeah.
that.
Well, I'm assuming.
It would have to
You'd
find-
want to put that out to bid to some degree, right? Or would you? do
Yes,
the-
yes,
yeah,
you
yeah.
want it out to bid.
Yeah.
That's what we're hoping, maybe get involved with the cesspools to incorporate that into the whole bid. Two birds, one stone.
I mean, it might become a little bit more appealing to
Yeah.
construction companies if you can put it out to bid for spring work, if you allow them to come in and out of there. Like we did on our we saved hundreds of $1,000s on the White Plains Bridge, if we did,
What,
because of the right time of year.
what other considerations are there around this? So we're talking about a fix, but we're also talking about this got inundated by too much water, of which we're now having storms that do this more often. Is this something we're gonna have to worry about in the rest of the town?
There's a possibility, yes. This is not the first cap that this has happened to. Back when they designed it, they didn't design for the 1,000-year flood, they designed for the 100-year flood. So a lot of the drainage pipes are undersized. new standards, different size pipes, different.
Much like they are in our communities.
Different drainage, yeah.
So just a quick question. You folks. We're 25% of this purchase, right? So that puts us about what, 250, roughly 250, 300, somewhere. in there. So what are your constituents saying about this to you? Because our constituents are very concerned.
I mean, I haven't heard.
Not been approached so far.
Nothing yet?
No.
No, because I know Dave has, I've had several approach me as of even this week. And, you know, we're moving some money around for some things, okay? And, you know, obviously it's something we've got to do. But I'm just curious what the feedback is you get, so. If any.
I think honestly, as we've gone through this budget season, this is one of 3 critical infrastructure
Agreed.
things happening in town at the same time. And I don't think anyone is thrilled. I don't think anyone is resigned, but I do think we're all keeping a critical eye on what shakes out when and what year, because there's still a lot of moving targets as to which budget things will actually fall into.
So continuing that down the road to what David asked, how much time can we put in between talking about this today and doing something about it? Could we, was it 2 months? I mean, you're the professional, you're 2 months, 4 months, a year? I mean, what do you think?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I'm
just, you with me?
I mean, we could get going on construction right away if we had money and approval. As far as how long will this last, I have no idea. I don't know how long the cap's gonna last in its current state if we do nothing. I don't know how long or if that repair would hold up. Depends on how much rain we get.
I mean, which is reasonable for us to talk about when
Yeah.
you're talking to a taxpayer, you know, you put 400, in your case, you're gonna be putting 400 plus in it, and us 250, 300. They're gonna want that thing to last another 100 years, and you and I both know it isn't gonna do that, so.
Yeah,
you know.
I can't guarantee anything and I can't predict. If I could predict anything, I would be not doing what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, no, just must be trying to get a feel for your judgment since you do this. I don't do
Yeah,
this.
I personally feel we need to fix the cap before I don't think we want to mess around with that cap.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking a 2-acre repair could turn into a 12-acre repair. I don't know.
So I know this is gonna come up at town
Yeah.
meeting, and I wanna be educated. Well, we do, I should say. I call my colleagues here and myself to be at least discuss it with some knowledge and the price, but beyond the price, because they're gonna wanna know, you know.
Yeah.
I
don't think-
Question, you know?
I don't know if anyone could have that answer. It's just,
Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
not fishing for it. I'm
Yeah.
just kind of sharing with you what I know is gonna get asked.
yeah.
Is there any more information that we don't have that we think we could get to sort of add to the consideration for what to do about this?
Without hiring a different firm to come in and do what Novus has already did, I can't see
All right,
anything.
yeah, so we kind of have
Yeah.
all the information
I mean,
we're gonna have.
And I know a lot about dirt, but this is, I mean, you're talking caps, I mean, liners underneath dirt and how things flow, and that's a little bit out of my
Yeah,
ballpark, so.
And that does make me wonder if we, as a select board, need to step back and look at the different projects on the slate for this year and what is the highest priority. Because we were talking about the culvert, now we're talking about the cap in this year, though it's budgeted for the following year. And what can the budget handle? What can it not handle? And what conceivably could potentially wait versus has to get done this year? Not that I want to defer any maintenance, but it's simply.
No, and, someone told me, I hope you don't get mad, but we talked about possibly not doing the culvert at East Pennacook. I'm like, it's another roll of the dice. I mean, the state could come in and say, we're shutting this down right now. And if that happens and we're not, we already have the plans. And I think it's gone out to DES, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's been shipped, so the permit will be all approved for the next 5 years, but it takes up to 60 days to get approval or 50 days approval for the permit. Then you're talking 90 days beyond that for the structure to cure and then getting someone to come in and put it in gas. So you're talking closer to a year before you can replace a culvert on that short of notice.
Yeah.
So how do we as a team think logically toward moving forward if we have to with this? Because it sounds like we're going to have to at some point within the next 12 months. How do we need to think that through? Communication of it, what we're doing with it, your expertise, the company's expertise, and where the money's all coming from. Because you folks obviously have a little bit more expense than we do in this thing. So, I mean, we all have an expense, and 250 to 300,000 to us is like 450 to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying, I'm
100%.
speaking very soundly, very logically.
The breakdown of 800 is approximately 200 us and approximately 600 them.
Yeah. But for a little town of Webster, that's a lot
Yeah.
of coin. And I just, if we work together on it, it's gonna be a lot more simplified than.
I don't think we'll necessarily have an answer tonight.
No.
I do think we each should go back. Maybe you've already done this. We have not yet. But look at your budgets and think, how do we budget for this? How do we afford this? And at what timeline can we afford this?
Oh, you're right. No, that's kind of where without indicating those objective factors here, that's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Can we just try to set a meeting date to reconvene and continue this conversation and maybe have Dan there, maybe even have Novus as well?
So my concern there is that, like, we've already had a budget public hearing. We're gonna have our second one after some changes this Wednesday. And then, like, the budget is pretty much solidified at that point.
Agreed, yeah.
So the real question is, and I guess this is to your board, are you trying to get this through this year? Because if you are, we need to figure out how to make that happen. And there are levers we can pull and ways we can probably do that maybe we don't want to, but we can make that happen in one shape or another, even if it's, sorry, we thought we were going to have a lower amount, and now it's going to have to be higher. So, but we need to be able to present that, and we need to be able to present it by Wednesday. So if you're wanting to move forward towards this, which it sounds like we really need to try and do that this year, we kind of need that decision now.
That's kind of the question I was asking. I don't mean to be neither one of us to try. I mean, I think that's why I'm saying teamwork here. It's essential and very, and I know you get it.
I get it. Yeah.
But if you're also saying there's no way we can possibly do it until the next year, and that's when it was in the CIP, well, then that's okay, as long as we've accounted for it in our CIP and we move forward. It doesn't sound ideal, but
if we get heavy spring rains, as we did last year, and every road agent,
and there's a lot of good melt that's going to happen.
Right.
Too.
And every road agent you talk to has cranked up the culvert size by about 6 to 8 inches. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, around these communities.
That's just general.
Replacing culvert, due to the weather issues we're having. Not to, it sounds as we're being pushed and we're not. We're just trying to be realistic.
What kind of a leeway do we have to absorb?
So we don't have leeway, unfortunately. And I'm looking at a slightly older version of the CIP. We currently have, where to go? Roughly $51,000 in the transfer station CRF, which isn't gonna cut it. We're putting in 70 this year, and then next year was the cap. That went in, and so we would have some money in there for that. If we were to, on the floor of town meeting, change what we're putting into that capital reserve, we would have money to do this.
What do we have in fund balance?
2.8 something or other,
Okay.
2.8 and
So we
change.
could conceivably at town meeting, well, not to the operating budget. When are we finalizing our warrant?
Tonight,
Tonight.
and the budget committee's already weighed in, so
Hearings.
that's why it needs to go onto the floor of town meeting.
And what's the warrant article to the transfer? I'm sorry, what was the fund you said?
The Transfer Station Equipment and Facilities Fund is a $70,000 appropriation this year.
And how are we funding that so far? Taxation or?
Taxation.
Okay. So we could at the meeting up that. We could, I think, change it to fund balance if we wanted to on the floor.
I don't know about that, but yeah, we could look at
I
that.
think you just can't change to borrowing on the floor.
Okay,
But you can
the funding. we could
switch
try to
from
fund balance.
taxation to fund balance.
Again, the concern with dipping that deeply into fund balance is the cash flow when we do start the lagoon project.
No, but where else are we gonna find the money from if we're actually gonna do it this year? I don't know what other options we have.
We do have a budget committee member in the audience who could add some color.
Just had a question, if
Or
the
a budget.
trailers,
Please come up. Thank you.
Lauren Clement, 86 Maple Street, I just had a thought is, since Webster owns 25% of the trailers that are going to be sold and we own 3/4, is it possible that potentially that money could be earmarked to move towards another transfer station issue that is equally divided? And when the trailers sell, that is a deposit on this. I'm not sure that obviously it won't cover the whole expense, but I don't know where you
Exactly the kind of thinking I'm talking.
earmark that money. That was my only thought. I don't want to speak for the budget committee as one member, but I just thought
Good point.
there's some revenue potential.
I think that's possible. I mean, I think I'm sort of wondering, I just want to make sure we have legal authority to spend the money also, which is trying to figure out what's on the warrant and where we can fit it in. And then, yeah, if we're able to sell the trailers, that money would go into the general fund as revenue. So yeah, it'd be there for however we want to spend it.
And there's copies of the warrant in our drive for
Oh,
tonight.
Is that about 300,000? You think on a trail is about 300?
No. You're gonna get, if I had to guess, like 200,000 for the two new ones. And then you're lucky if you're gonna get $5,000 to $6,000 for the old ones.
So 200,000 plus 3 times 5, let's say.
Maybe, yeah.
That's how much? Quick math.
I would say maybe you can count.
215,000 probably at the most.
Well, that's more than we've got now.
Yeah. But that would also require us selling all the trailers, and I would like to keep one as a possible issue.
Can you keep an older one?
No, because that's why they're old, why we're replacing them. No, I'm just saying, that's why we're replacing them, because they were becoming not roadworthy, and we've already rebuilt them a couple times.
And the other part in there is the big if we sell the trailers.
Yeah.
That's,
And how far will this company, this expense, how far will they let us drag it out without extreme interest and all that?
That I don't know. And we don't even have a company like that. This is just Nobis Engineering.
This
came
is
up-
what Dave was talking about, getting the estimates.
Yeah.
Will that be below 800,000, do you think?
So my general practice, I found that engineers are generally on the high side when it comes to estimating, but
So it might be.
yeah.
If we pulled 600K from fund balance, what percentage would we be at? Would we still be where DRA recommends us to be?
I'd have to play with some numbers. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would, well, would we pull 600? They'd be,
Well, that, if they're 200K,
and
would
we
be
have,
about
we have
600K.
100 in our fund. If we use the 70 that she's gonna flip.
Yeah.
She's at using fund balance, because I asked her if possibly we could use some of the capital appropriations this year early to do, some other work. And she said, no, we're just absolutely gonna need it because of this lagoon.
Good figure, right?
Because we got, basically $4 million over the next 18 months. And when we're in the middle of it, we're gonna be paying some big bills in 1 month and then waiting for that reimbursement.
Gonna need the cash flow
Right.
front end, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I know we're gonna get nailed on this on Wednesday night with questions. Obviously this is public tonight. And I know people are concerned about the other issues we've talked about, but this is the predominant issue. And, you know, so we're not trying to be pushy. We're just trying to,
No, we get it.
No, I appreciate.
we want
the
to work with
position.
you. It's-
Yes,
No,
I do.
It sounds straight, you know, very forward, and we're not trying to be.
No, not at all. I think it's a constructive conversation. Can someone remind me, maybe Dan, why did we think this could wait until 27? Didn't we? Like, is there a reason we thought this could be pushed off?
We didn't know.
Okay.
I've never run into this before, and luckily I found it when I was mowing the gap.
Okay.
And not when my guys doing it.
That's how you found it?
Yeah,
Lucky you didn't go down inside it.
yeah.
So we know the
Oh my
risk
God.
with the culvert.
Just ask one question, quick question. The lagoon repair,
Closure, yeah.
you know, we're gonna place gold and. But, where is that subject to, what's the timeline on that? I guess I don't
I
know
think
that I
they were
ever.
starting, planning to start this spring, I believe.
Oh, so there's already been, you
There.
already have who's doing it and such.
I don't believe we have that, do we?
No, we haven't. It hasn't gone out to bid yet. We're waiting to figure out because Hopkinton is moving some of the sludge from our current wastewater treatment plant up there at the same time. We're trying to coordinate that with, so we have two engineering firms that are trying to talk to each other. And once that's confirmed and they have a schedule played out, then we can put it out to bid. So.
And also,
that is-
also
well,
talking with DES.
That is getting close, I'm told.
Okay, so I just didn't know if that was, I mean, we're at the place where we're at now with the lagoons already. I didn't know which one really is priority. And it
The
feels like a
Lagoons, I
little
think, are already a done deal. That's happening.
What's the cost on that? Yeah.
That's the 4 million.
The roughly for.
So we're
Where the gold?
25% of that too. And this reminds me of a house I bought. 25%. I'm being, let me
You
take
still
a
own the
sidebar.
house?
Just enjoy my moment with me, all right? Everything is great, okay? Until the septic system didn't work a month after I was into it. And you remind me of the sand in my septic system. You brought back visions of that tonight. So I'm just, you know, I replace.
That's what the cap is, really what it's kind of made up of, is a big septic system. Correct?
That's what it is, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
and
So it's in what you found.
That's what they're gonna do with the cesspool. That's what the landfill cap.
And I think Pocketani Phil getting into the thing, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't see how we can do this other than making an amendment at our business session.
Right.
Because it's too late for us. We've already had our budget hearing, so we can't add a new.
That's what we're going into Wednesday night.
Right, so you guys have that flexibility, we don't.
Right,
So,
right.
so we can,
Yeah, we'd normally be done, but.
right, so we're not gonna be able to give you a solid answer then tonight. Because it's gonna be dependent on our voters letting us amend this and then passing it as amended on March 19th.
How do you think that's gonna go?
I think people are not gonna be super excited about that.
No, I totally get that message,
Yeah.
but I'm just, you know what I'm saying?
This is a must, I mean, what's the alternative?
There isn't any.
Yeah,
Right? The alternative is we have.
one
a-
or the other waits.
To the cap,
Yeah,
leave it and see what happens and hope we don't
Hope.
get heavy
hope
rain.
and pray.
because
which
if we get
I
heavy
don't know.
rain, tell us worst case scenario.
Well, heavy rain is you get more material sliding off the cap and possible liner damage. Now DES is involved. Worst case scenario is you have liner damage, DES involved.
800 becomes 16.
1.6 million.
Yeah.
So this is really a must do. I mean, there's not.
That's certainly how we would present
And,
it, I think.
and that's why I told you I would not worry about the fix. I would do the repair. I mean, the temporary fix thing. I would do the full repair for 800,000. We fixed 2 acres. I'm not saying down the road in 10 years, another 3 to 5 acres isn't gonna fail, because there's a good possibility it may with these heavy rains. I'm just letting you know, I don't wanna see that cap the liner get damaged.
If we, oh, go ahead, Karen.
I was just going to read the last line of Novus's email. Long and short of it, the limited repair may be sufficient, but if there was a need to complete the cap material replacement later, you're back to doing everything to complete the complete repair requires, including replacing the drain line again.
No.
So you're going to do half of it and then you're basically going to
Yeah.
pull the
Can we
whole
get a
thing.
copy of that? memo?
Yes,
Do you
I'll
mind?
happily send that to you.
Great.
I mean, I think for tonight, like the most that we could do as a board is to commit to bringing this as an amendment at our March 19th business session, but that's, I think, all that we could do tonight. And so that's unfortunately all that you'd be able to take to your voters for your hearing coming up. We just don't have,
So it sounds to me like we're stuck. We don't have the money to do this repair for this year, so.
other
I
than,
think your hands are tied at this point, and it's gonna have to wait until next year if you don't think we can get the money.
well, no, I mean,
Say though, hang on. Why don't we, in theory, use the culvert money in the operating budget for this instead? Because if we're going to roll the dice on the culvert or the cap, because either way it's a dice roll, let's roll the dice on the culvert. Because as Vicky was explaining in the 1 to 5 rankings, it is not a 1 or a 2. It's a 3 or a 4. It doesn't mean we can't get shut down, but if we're looking at most likely scenarios, most likely scenario is we can limp along on the current culvert and the cap fails. Least likely scenario is we fix the culvert and the cap holds.
and that's in our, it's in our operating budget.
It's in our operating budget.
And do we have some purpose in our operating budget that we could transfer that money to cover this work?
Culvert is in a warrant article, I believe.
A separate warrant article?
Sorry, no,
The culvert is in the CRF.
yeah,
Okay,
which is, it's.
what
yeah.
we were sort of already talking about playing with. Bless you.
I thought it was in our
Or
operating
all,
budget. for some
do
reason.
you do all of your CRFs in one warrant
One
article?
lump,
Yes,
So you could make an amendment to just kind of flop the numbers.
yes.
yeah, we may even need to pull one out and talk about separately if we're funding it differently than all the other ones.
Dan, do you have thoughts on us trying to repurpose the culvert money for the cap?
So one of the things that Dan and I talked about is we think that the 1.1 is a generous amount for the culvert. We don't
Mhm.
have good solid numbers on that yet.
Correct.
So that may afford us a little wiggle room.
Yeah,
I mean, that may be, it's way easier than trying to do a bunch of amendments.
yeah, I agree.
If you want me to get the ball rolling on the culvert and try to get an estimate from a company, get an estimate from Weaver Brothers to come in and do that, then I can get them on that. I could have an answer within probably a week.
Hmm.
Of how much he thinks they're estimating the culvert to cost.
That could be.
Cause he's gonna have the best idea. I'm just judging the culvert off what we've done already in the past as far as pricing goes.
Where's your culvert, Dan? Just curious.
It's actually a bridge. It's not a culvert, it's actually a bridge. It's a 12-foot span and it's right at the entrance to the transfer station.
Oh, okay.
Webster will be, if Webster wants to kick in some, cause
Well,
he'll be
you can let
direct.
the culvert going, we don't have to worry about the transfer station.
That's true.
At this point, I just feel like the transfer station and everything surrounding it just wants to like drift off into the void. It's telling us it wants to like move on.
So the road bridge rehab, that's the CRF that the culvert would be funded
Yes.
through. What's the purpose of that? Would that also cover this cap work? The purpose
No,
of
the
that
cap
fund?
work, the fund for the cap work is two below that, the $70,000 to the transfer station equipment and facilities fund.
Oh, okay, I see. So we would just take the money, the amendment would be to just change the amounts for those two funds, right? And then in the transfer station equipment and facilities, what's the balance of that fund?
Say, at the end of 2026, it'll be $121,000. Right
Okay,
now it's 51.
okay. All right,
So
that's.
if we were able to fund that one a little bit early with the 70,000.
Right, but so getting back to tonight, I mean, even if we did it that way, it would require some amendments at the business session. Because any money we stick in one of these funds can't be transferred out.
Mm-hmm.
And so once it goes into the fund, it's sort of locked in there.
Can't we transfer it at town meeting?
Well, that's what I mean, an amendment at the meeting to change the numbers. Yeah, but tonight, obviously, we can't
So then we
Right.
can't change
do
it.
that.
There are definites and there are probabilities. And if we have a probability here that we're all working together on this is the direction we're going,
Yeah,
I think that's a sufficient amount of discussion for us to be able to provide to the constituent, if that makes sense to you.
I think you have I think there's a consensus that you have a commitment from us that we are going to figure out a way to make it happen on the cap. Yeah.
I
mean,
mean, the entirety of the cap, not
Full
the.
cap.
Right.
Right,
the
right,
full
right,
cap,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then these lagoons, what's our timeline on this lagoon thing? It's,
Last I heard from Novus, we're shooting for this spring.
but I mean, can you push that out a bit or what's that?
That's what I was just asking.
Well,
Yeah.
so the thing I would say there, and I'll look to the administrator to confirm this, is that that comes from the loan. And then there's 2 years during construction that there aren't payments, but it's coming at 1%.
It's accruing.
And then it's, so closest payment would be 3 years from now for the lagoons.
Two to three, because they're working this summer, working next summer, and I would imagine they're gonna have to finish it next summer. And then that's when the note will be written.
Okay.
So next fall, so.
We don't know what that payment is, right?
No.
Okay, I'm just trying, I remember this discussion, but I don't, it's so much, I just don't remember it. This isn't all any of us do, so I'm just trying to reverberate what I was trying to think about. Yeah, you're right.
So what I would imagine that probably the repayment would start sometime in 28.
Okay.
So we're a ways away on that.
However, of course, we do still need to talk about the terms of that.
Yes,
Um,
correct.
I don't want to interrupt this though, but
So our decision would be, I'm looking at Dave here because he's our money man. But our decision would be to communicate this on Wednesday night, that we're working diligently with the board here. Looking at a fair direction forward and looking at our 25%.
yeah, I think what's, like, we had planned to make a really simple change to move forward for Wednesday. I would suggest that we meet ahead of that so that we can work some other stuff and see what we can come up with. But I think, yes, we're gonna have to talk about this and what's going on and a roughly 200 grand that was not expected. We're gonna have to figure out where to
You're
find
right.
stuff.
You're right. It's not gonna be, let me ask a forward-thinking question. How willing are you to come to maybe the meeting and discuss? You have the expertise here.
I really don't have the expertise. This is
No, it sounds to me like you know much more than I do about it.
This is all Novus telling me what's going on.
Yeah,
with
but I mean-
with the cap itself.
But you're the gentleman who found it, you're the professionals, and you're the professionals researched where this should go. I'm just thinking we might have some technical questions. I don't know how my colleagues feel about
I
that.
mean, I could do the best I could, but
Well, you've done a good job tonight.
I'm not looking.
How do you feel about that?
I think being that it's a budget hearing, rather than where people are making final decisions for us, I think what's gonna make the most sense is to make sure that we have a copy of the engineering report that's saying that it's 800 grand as an estimate, so that we can provide that.
Yeah.
And then if there's more questions,
I'm just
they
trying
can
to
funnel
throw-
it through the
Just
administration.
trying to think through this verbally here.
I hear you candidly. I don't love the idea of Dan going.
Candidly,
here,
that's fine. That's what I
Budget
want you to do.
hearing and
Yeah.
having to like answer questions from the public.
I'm good. I'm good.
That's
I'm fine, as long as it's to do with the transfer station stuff, I'm fine with that, but I'd also want Novus there as well. Because they're gonna have the technical answers and I
Let's
don't,
wait till we get into another
Yeah.
phase.
I wouldn't wanna,
Okay, does that make you feel better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
But you see where I'm at with it.
Of course.
I mean, we're sitting here and he's been very much articulating and, you know,
If it wasn't a budget hearing, I think I'd feel a little differently.
yeah,
But
no,
I just
I'm
think-
respecting it.
Yeah.
So to ask the question that would, I think, make everybody really happy if it were possible, but I don't know how possible it is. We're obviously working with the loan and the transfer station already for the mitigation. Is there any way that, since this is all somewhat related, but not directly, that this could be rolled into that kind of agreement or get a similar agreement or a, hey, can we add X amount to it, with doing this as well, because this is an unexpected expense?
No, sorry, that's the short answer. The reason is, the whole cesspool cleanup is driven by PFAS, and that has a DES grant. It's actually a reimbursement
Specifically
loan
for
grant for
PFAS.
that.
Okay, thank you.
Which is the 400,000 approximately, correct?
With a
That's the
forgiveness,
$4
of-
million
yeah,
budget.
Well, no, but they're doing about 400,
hopefully, yeah.
hopefully.
That's our cut, right?
Yeah, and which doesn't seem like a whole.
Well, no,
lot.
it's good.
Even a
Well,
nothing.
so the grant is the forgiveness. Is it also the loan at the low interest rates? Or can
The
that
whole
be
thing is a
too?
package deal.
Okay.
So, and I'm not well versed on what the forgiveness part is, whether it's prompt payments or, meeting the target and completing it on time or whatever it is. But it's all tied into one.
I think a
Sorry,
lot
I
of, tried.
Yeah, no.
A lot of our,
Everybody's, I'm sorry.
I think a lot of our hope is that by combining the cap, the current cap with the future cap and the overinflation of engineering numbers, that maybe we can get somewhere close and have the whole thing done for the 4 million.
Mobilization costs,
Yeah,
just.
are you?
Well, I mean,
Can you
it might
elaborate
be a
on-
year even.
Can you elaborate on future cap?
The cap for the cesspools, because that's gonna be a cap as well. It's gonna look just like the landfill cap. They're basically putting a line, moving the dirt to one side, putting the liner in, moving the dirt on top of the liner, digging the other side out, rolling out
Oh,
the
so
dirt.
you're talking about just getting basically cost of scale by having someone do both of them.
Yes.
Okay.
Did you, did you know you were briefing the board tonight. Did you folks know the extent of this as we now know it? Or was this just kind of hanging out there and we hadn't really all get together to have the family meetings?
It was kind of the way, when it happened, it just, all the info was finally coming in with Novus going and doing the scope. That was last fall that one of my guys went up with them with the excavator and dug the cap and they figured this, then they have to go talk to DES and do all that. So everything's just kind of coming together.
Coming together now, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is.
We've gotten correspondence from Novus, and that's, I think, been how we've come to realize the scale of it.
This is real.
Yeah.
So is there any grants for this though? I mean, I know you say it's PFAS, but is it
Well,
worth?
This is,
No, the cap isn't PFAS.
No, I understand that part, but to me, it's on the same level of, DS department, yes, the
Well, see-
PFAS, which everybody's gonna have some kind of issue, it sounds like at some point,
Yeah.
dump wise. I just didn't know if we shouldn't just double check that with this.
Related to climate change or any.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think you're gonna find any grants for fixing the landfill cap at this point, because it's not, we're not involving DES, because it's not involving the underlying trash itself. It's just the top straight, and getting water to clean off. If we get a hole in the liner, then we can talk about possibly finding some grants, but I don't want to see that happen.
Yeah, but we don't want to hold.
So another one that we kind of mentioned a little bit at the last joint meeting, but nobody really knew much about. Maybe there's more information and color on it now, is all of the closing and the capping. Warner was part of all of that because their trash is under there. And your trash never goes away. It's always stays associated with you. So how does that get figured in, and how much of this should Warner be paying?
Still working on that. I found some old files, some old agreements that Bonnie had talked about earlier. It does mention Warner. And I literally just found those today, so I have not really explored them. But yes, we are looking to see, what their liability might be.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Would you guys have any old paperwork from when Warner was involved?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have been looking through our paperwork. We haven't found the thing that we had asked, hopefully that we'd have, but.
Yeah.
So is there a problem that Warner isn't saying their trash isn't under the pile of?
I don't know what the old agreements say, and that was way before my time.
But their trash is in the dump.
Yes.
So what I will say there is we had a resident come up that stated that they had been on the select board previously in Webster and were part of the joint Hopkinton and Webster suing Warner in order to make sure that they were paying for their share moving forward at that time.
Do
So
they
there
have a
should-
file folder with the documents by any chance?
They don't,
Ah.
or at least didn't offer one. However, that would seem to indicate, much as your administrator mentioned last time we met together, that there should be some sort of court record about what this is, because there should have been a court case.
So Merrimack County Superior Court should have recognized some, assume. That would be the most logical court. Karen, would you agree with me on that?
Probably. I did have somebody look online to see if they could find the court case, and they found something close to it, but not that particular one. There's other stuff out there.
Well, it seems like we have some work to do on both sides of the aisle. Here.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of digging to be done.
Okay. This would be fun to figure out.
Really just in with the eerie news at the end.
We really didn't mean to drop drop the hand grenade in the gas can from
No.
I think it's the reality. No, but it's the reality of where we all are. We need to talk about it.
Yep.
We need to make decisions and you know. Ambulance contract, is that something you're still working on?
Well, we're not really done with transfer.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I thought we were.
Make sure to let Dan go before we.
Yes.
I wanted to talk about George's Park.
I can make it real brief.
Yeah.
So we have an engineering plans. I don't know if Karen has showed you those.
They're in your drive.
Got 'em, yeah.
Yep.
So we're moving forward. I have several quotes that have come in already, some from electrical, some from concrete. I found one mason and he backed out. So right now I have no masons and no other concrete people are getting back to me. Do have a budget for the directional drilling out to Park Ave.
Talking,
Um,
the forming.
so I guess what I'm looking from you tonight is if I get a quote from someone and it's the only one I can get, are you good with me just going with that person?
What's our procurement policy?
It says that we have the ability
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, it's over the, the three bids, but I think you guys can.
And what's the alternative? You just keep.
Try to find somebody and,
And you're looking for like a concrete form company is what you're talking about, right?
oh, wow.
A forming company?
No, I'm looking for an actual mason to build block.
Right,
walls.
for the okay.
And it's very hard, apparently.
Oh, God, yes. No, the
Um,
masons are not.
I did contact Jim with the school, the head maintenance guy, and he's going to put me in touch with their GC for their whole high school entrance, and they'll have a mason. So hopefully we can get a price from him.
Okay.
But other than that, it's very difficult to find anyone to do anything. And on those same lines, I contacted R&D Paving, I contacted Pike Industries, and I contacted GMI about a 5-year contract for pavement, because that works the best for me instead of doing this every year. And that was before my surgery in December. And the only one I heard back from was GMI, and I gave Karen the contract. So I have no problems with them. The price is adjustable with the cost of AC, which they're all gonna be. I say just go with them.
So we can either vote to waive the solicitation of our competitive bid requirements, or we can consider a vendor if they're the only bidder, if all the procedural steps have been followed to solicit bids, and that's the only one we've gotten.
So it sounds like. Yeah.
If you're good with, right now, it looks like a mason and concrete floors. I've contacted 5 different concrete things I found on Google. And none of them have got back to me. One of them didn't even do concrete anymore. And masons, I only had one name and number. I've tried in the past and called like 15 or 20 different names in the book, and no one would get back to me. oh yeah, I'll do that for you. And then they ghost you. And the one guy that I did find up in Sutton said he was not interested because he had to order that split face block.
So
It's
just,
more commercial.
I want to make sure I understand what we're sort of acting on. Is it just the mason that you need this permission for, or?
Right now, it's the mason and the concrete floor.
Okay,
The directional drilling is kind of specific and we're basically just gonna go with Henniker directional drilling. I don't know of anyone else and but plumbing and electrical, I have numbers coming in for. Those are fairly easy to find. We are doing the carpentry.
okay,
We're gonna build stud walls inside the bathroom against the plan. The plan show block walls. We're gonna do stud walls. We're gonna do the trusses, and then I'm gonna have Dan, our buildings guy, he's gonna finish it up with help from one or two of my guys to try to save money.
okay.
Because I was told by the architect, our budget is extremely tight.
Yeah. So if we're waiving competitive bidding, it sounds like it's mason, concrete floor and directional drilling. Cause it seems like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna give the concrete floor a little more time to see if someone get back. I mean, I just started this last week.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give them more time, but I think the mason wherever the school gets is what we're gonna get. If
At
they're
what-
even willing to do it.
At what point or is there a date where you're gonna be like, okay, concrete floor, I'm done trying to get more bids. I've just got to go with what I've got.
I would give it another week and a half, 2 weeks.
Okay.
If I haven't got anything by then, and I'm not gonna keep reaching out to these people.
Yeah.
Like with the pavement, I reached out to them, I talked to them, this is what I want. And I've heard nothing.
Okay. I can make a motion unless you guys have questions. I mean, I would move that the board waive the competitive bid requirements for the George Park bathroom work for the mason, the concrete floor, and the directional drilling.
Seconded.
Is Vicky still with us? So it's a roll
Yep.
call vote.
here.
Stephen,
Yes.
Amy, yes, Alyssa,
Yes.
and Vicky.
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Google provided me with the court order from 1997 for Webster and Hopkinen versus Warner. So I just sent that to Karen.
Oh, cool.
Thanks, Vicky.
Karen looks forward to find it, so
Yeah.
thank you.
I don't feel comfortable interpreting it, but I sent
Vicky,
it to
can you
Karen.
find some money on via Google? Also,
Ask AI.
tried that.
Go back out on
For
Google.
money.
Yeah.
All right, Dan,
Good.
thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
No problem.
Dan, thank you for,
Alright.
yeah, appreciate it.
Have a good night.
You too. All right.
Well, that concluded our transportation public appointment that started at 5:45.
Yeah.
Well, we're still going on transfer station.
Okay, still
We still need to talk about the bonds and how all that works. Because that was never really settled. We just said we were gonna keep talking about it. Because of course, we were saying 10 years and you were going to talk about it further. I don't know what happened.
Transparently, we have 2 years to set the actual details of the bond, right? We don't have to have it set before construction begins. Nothing technically changes in the work moving forward. So I would name that starting or continuing the conversation at 8 PM probably won't leave us in a super productive place, but will go for at least an hour. And so I do think after town meeting is a good time to come back and have a dedicated meeting just around that conversation. But
I would add that I completely understand, you know, the concerns that you guys have raised about the cost of borrowing the money to do this work and wanting to be really thoughtful about, you know, what we're passing on to the taxpayers. But I totally agree that, you know, maybe after town meeting is over and with a dedicated meeting is the way to do that, because we have so much time before we really need to make that
So
decision.
30 days isn't gonna make a difference.
no,
Right.
Yeah, the note doesn't get written until construction is complete.
Okay.
And that's when the terms of the note are decided
Sounds like a palatable.
or finalized.
The concern there is that the contract that was signed by the state reads that it is 20. It does not say anything about optional. The optional was when presented to us by Neil and what we had been gotten from them prior to assigning. And so that's a very big concern, especially since we've never had that joint meeting about it. And we thought that maybe you would be getting back to us after the last one, and that hasn't happened either. So like, this is not something that we can drop, and we can't afford to let this drop when it's $750,000 difference.
Absolutely agree.
So our constituents won't let us drop it.
For good reason, for good reason.
Yes.
I get it. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, I guess we haven't talked about it. Do you want to?
We haven't
relay
talked
their
about it in a while.
conversations with, yeah.
Beverly did dive into it, and I believe I don't know that it was in the contract, but it was in the GNC minutes. And she reached out, and that is not because it's in the minutes, it's not binding. It's not however, they don't get to define the terms, was what I was told. So.
Well, can you provide us with a document then that tells Webster that we can still be doing the 10?
That you can still what?
Be doing the 10 years, which is what we agreed. that we would do.
I think where I struggle with that is y'all, and I wasn't on the select board at the time, but as I understand it, y'all agreed to the 10. This board agreed to the 20. And so I don't know that we can provide a note until we figure out whether or not we can do different payments, which I know was an option being floated at a previous one of our meetings.
I wouldn't even use the word agreed. I don't think it's
Did-
been discussed. I think it was presented 2 different ways to 2 different towns.
Got it.
That's kind of it.
How about
And like I said,
It speaks to the considerations we're discussing. I think Dave has a good, well, it doesn't necessarily be greed, doesn't necessarily be the primary word. I would offer a lot of consideration. We're mutually discussing this with you. We know, as you pointed out, we know that you agreed to 10, we agreed to 20, and we'd like to give 30 days hence to do that right out and come back to another discussion to see how we can kind of balance that out. Does that make sense?
again, I would not use the word agreed. I would say that
I'm
was.
not
what was
saying use the word
proposed.
agreed, that's consideration. You
Okay.
heard me, I said probably.
No, I'm sorry. I thought I heard you say
No.
we agreed and you agreed.
No,
My apologies.
Consideration, that we
We
agreed,
agreed, maybe they didn't.
right, we agreed to come back and have a discussion.
Okay.
I'm not trying, I'm not trying to get wordy with them.
Mhm.
I think that's what we're.
Yeah, because we provided them with a letter, we told them
Right.
at meetings.
And I remember you sending somebody out to check into this, it never seemed to get. resolved.
I think I sent Dana something.
It might have been when Dana was out,
Yeah, so.
What are you guys looking for? Like a letter?
just we're having this discussion.
Letter committing to the fact that we have this outstanding issue that needs to be resolved.
Yeah.
And that way we are committing more or less to a timeline as to when we will come back together to resolve it.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Because some members won't be members after town meetings.
Oh, okay, that's what I was missing.
Not that we're gonna lose
Okay.
sight of where we're headed.
No, okay, thank you. Thank you for that
If that makes
context.
sense to you.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
And maybe on your side too, I don't know.
Yeah.
You never know till
Are you
afterwards.
coming back to join us
I
on
mean-
the town meeting?
I'm only 1 year in, but who knows?
Well, I've got two, so we're.
Everyone sitting here should be back.
Okay, well, that'd be good. We enjoy working with you.
Yes, so, yeah.
Pending an act of God.
Yeah.
So can we step beyond the dump and
And the happier stuff, like the ambulance contract?
well.
So-
We'll throw that tennis ball out. How's that?
I'm not, where do we want to address the bill issues? Should we just do that directly through?
I will speak
administrators?
I'll speak with Kelly. I think it's the best way to do it.
Okay. So then, yes,
Or the town.
I will leave that for the time being.
Where's the contract?
Where's the contract?
Where are we? We had a process and I forget where that.
My understanding was that we were not gonna, given that we were looking at budget season, then town meeting season, that the town administrators were going to work through it once.
We'll push that back a little bit too.
Once, yeah,
Okay, all right.
end of March. And I think we just had that conversation.
We did.
in
You
the
did,
last
okay,
week or
good,
so.
all right.
Okay, so,
Good.
so my recollection from last time we met over at the safety building.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not what you call it, but, was that we were waiting for Warner and you to work out how much was going to be done and what any future deal or percentage was going to be that was going through that process so that we could match up with that. So what have you heard from them or agreed to with them?
Have we heard from them?
Percentage for,
Ambulance, like how they're paying the amounts over the first year versus the second year or anything of that nature.
so they paid what they paid for 2025.
Right.
They encumbered some funds for 26
Mhm.
that they had left over in their budget, their 25 budget.
Yeah.
And I believe they are paying or planning to pay what I suggested that they estimate, the estimate. And very clearly, these are estimates, not pre-bills. So they're budgeting for the balance of that through their town.
So I asked that in part because I saw in their budget committee that they said that, yes, they were going to do the encumbrance, approximately 110. But that also they were not going to increase the amount that they had for the next year. So it was not going to cover everything that you were expecting. So at least that's what I was reading out of their minutes because I hadn't heard anything. And so we don't want to be in a situation where like we're the only ones that are paying a full amount when Warner's basically
I
saying.
would like to
no.
point out, you would not be the only ones because we are also paying the full amount plus some. So 2 of the 3 in the scenario you have just described are paying the full amount.
Okay.
Thank you for reminding, yes.
Just want to remind you, we are
Thank you.
paying.
But we don't want to end up in this like, well, they're not having to pay for it, so why should we? And then we have to go say that to our townspeople.
We had the same conversation at the fire station. I
Yeah.
really struggle with the direct comparison between the towns because just because someone else isn't doing what they should be doing doesn't mean we don't do what we're supposed to do. And I would say the conversation we had is that this is the price, this is the estimate. What they do in their budget meetings, we can't control. I'm not informed as what's happening in their budget process because I'm focused on mine.
Mhm.
And to
Yeah, I just
allow
looked it up
their
today.
budget process to say that you will not that you're saying this, but if you were to extrapolate and say that you will not pay the full amount 2 years from now, because in Warner's budget process, they said they weren't going to increase their amount, feels not in good faith.
Can I put out a balanced word on this?
Sure.
We had no pushback when we spoke to our taxpayers in the last meeting. We had very little pushback. We respect what you folks have to do. We respect you folks providing the service. We need the service. I think what we need to do, taking Warner out of the picture, I understand what Dave said. He makes a good point. He does make a good point. But I think what we need to know is what we can forecast for 2026 and 2027. And I think Karen is trying to work on it. Is that what I'm hearing you say to me? You're trying to work on the expenditures for 26 and 27 for the ambulance?
For 26 and 27, I have no idea.
26 anyway, because we need, right?
I'm sorry, I'm not.
We got the budget.
Right, right.
Estimate
You've
that's
got
based
estimate.
on-
You use the word estimate, I'm using expenditure, the estimate. for
The estimate,
2020, yeah,
yes.
2026. So I think we know what we're anticipating to a degree. Right?
Right.
You with me on
Yep.
that?
Yeah, Kelly and I.
So I think that's
If Warner doesn't, if they go, I mean, we've sent them an estimate. At some point, we're gonna follow up with an
then it
action.
has a nursing home. We don't have nursing.
And we're gonna expect them to pay the entirety of the actual.
Yeah.
If they don't do that, then we'll figure out.
You
what
could
we're
have a
gonna do
different
at that
discussion.
point.
Yeah, no,
But
we
I
get,
think- Yeah,
but we don't want that discussion.
no,
You with me?
The reason I say that is because at the last meeting, it had kind of been left with, well, Warner, you figure out what you can do and then we'll work with that. And then you were gonna have a joint meeting with all of us again to kind of stew through the whole thing and like, okay, this is how we're gonna handle the finances of it going forward. And so.
That was not
With
my
that having been kind of the go figure it out, Warner, because the two of them were basically countering each other in the meeting.
Yes, they were.
Then we've been waiting for that and asking for that and haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
So
I believe I had a conversation with
Harry?
Harry, in which he said, he brought up the encumbrance piece and said that using that and their budget, they were going to be able to meet what the estimate was.
okay.
The more I listen to the on-street actual happenings, entirely different than Warner in our services, if you follow what I'm saying. We don't have the extended needs that Warner has for
Right.
ambulance service. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm not sure.
I will try to get confirmation of
I'm
what
not
their
sure
budget
what's
is.
same with Warner, if you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Much different.
Yeah, if Karen follows up with, if she can get more information, does that give
Yeah,
you what
like
you need
right,
for now?
right now, we are budgeting for and planning for the full amount.
Yep.
But we don't want to end up in the situation where our taxpayers are telling us, and I'm sure you don't either, but where our taxpayers are telling us, well, the other people that pay them don't have to. So,
So if that's a concern, why don't you go chat with Warner?
Well,
I'm just curious because it feels a little bit like you're going through us to put pressure on Warner. And
No, that's not what we're saying at all. No, you're misunderstanding it. What we're saying is we have a different business agreement with you folks, with the ambulance than Warner does. And we just don't want someone else comparing that. We just want it to be fully understood that we are separate from Warner. We can understand where Warner's concerns are, but we don't have the same healthcare emergency needs that Warner does.
well, and to slightly correct, we don't actually have an agreement. It's one of the things that we're working towards.
Right.
Whereas Warner has a signed agreement.
Yeah. And of course, I don't want to go down that.
thought in the meeting that we had, the non-public, we handed physical copies of the existing contracts over, not modified, not changed, just existing, and said, sign this and hand it back to us.
And I believe it was sent, I think we were trying to hand it to you folks. and
Well, we're
then
in
one
the
of you-
middle of that. We were a little preempting that discussion, but yes, you're right. That contract,
We said we wanted the contract to be separate from the payment plans because the contract was about the services provided.
then we had a discussion and agreed upon, I thought, not to counter you, had a discussion about putting a new contract together that comes up to the time period of not 2013, but 2026.
Yes, both things were true. Both things were true that
Okay.
we, I believe, had said literally in the meeting, because Karen said, do I hand someone this? And we said, yes, hand it to them. And so the idea was sign what we currently have so that you have a signed agreement. And then, in addition to, same time, work through a new contract that meets the needs. And then separate from all of that was the payment plans.
That's what I
It
recall.
was three different things happening. One, you can sign the contract that we've all been functioning under, right? As a handshake, just to sign it because nothing changes. Then, not then, but in addition, work on a new contract. And separate from that, work on the payments for whatever any towns can do. So it was three different things happening in my mind. So tell me if you remember differently, Karen.
No, that's what I recall. And I believe I tried to give David the contract and he said, no, email it. So I emailed it and I don't know. I believe it was probably when you were not there. So I can
Maybe it
look and
went-
I may
maybe
have
it
sent
went
it,
to Russ, but
sent it to Russ.
yeah, maybe.
Um,
Well, how do we
But
feel
you and
about
I can. figure
We'll hammer
that
it out.
Yeah.
How do we feel about it?
Well, the original way that we went in there was that we wanted to work on a new contract instead of just sign an old one.
Right, I remember.
And so, the recollection that I have was that we were gonna keep talking about that through the start of this year to have an actual agreement.
New contract.
Instead of signing the previous one. But that we were going to be doing our best to just say, well, we're gonna honor the way that things have been done until we have that agreement. But we weren't expecting like to sign one and then have an extended long-term process to figure out a new agreement either.
So can I just, what are we trying to figure out tonight? I'm
That's a
sorry.
fair-
I'm going
a fair
pretty
question.
Quickly, but
Very good question. Yeah.
I just, we have a lot of stuff we have to get through and I appreciate you guys are spending your time here too. I just want to make sure we're like, and I just honestly don't know what we're trying to figure out with the ambulance tonight.
You asking me the question?
Well, anyone, because I ran to the bathroom, so.
Well, I think we just want to know where we stand with the ambulance. We just didn't want to be compared to Warner.
Right, got that.
That's all.
Okay.
Okay, that's
That's
point
good,
number
yeah,
one.
and
Point
then-
number two is this contract,
Yeah.
the old one and the
So-
new one, and just trying to
We
find out.
just need to make sure we get whatever you sent to the right, into the right
Yep.
hands, or.
Yep.
So I'm not, I guess I was initially adversarial to signing the contract, being that everything was topsy-turvy before we came into that last meeting, and that's when we got, to my memory, that's when we got the contract before we sat down last time, and maybe it came up and it probably did at that meeting, and we weren't gonna sign it then. Bear with me, I don't have a problem signing the old contract for liability reasons. Okay? That's what you're kind of looking from us at this point, and then moving forward and having our two town administrators work on getting a new contract together that's updated. I mean, I think we've paid you this year. We paid you what you asked us to pay you.
Yeah, no
And-
concern about that.
No, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, we're not fighting that at all. And we got no pushback at the meeting because we had fire personnel there who very avidly spoke up. And I'm sure we'll get that at town meeting. So, I mean, I don't know how my colleagues feel, but I just don't want to be like the barrier to signing that old contract. Because the damn thing's never been signed for nearly 8 years anyways.
My only opinion on why I have brought up the old contract is because I've heard you mention before that you don't have a contract.
Point made.
And so I only bring it up, not because I personally feel strongly that you have to sign it, but out of hearing you mention it a couple different times,
Yeah.
and therefore it comes up as a concern. And so if it is a concern, my answer is there's one that we've all been operating
Bothered
under.
me since last year's town meeting, to be
But
perfect.
I appreciate, and I think the best path forward is for Karen and Dana to do the initial pass together and then for us to sit down and work it, because I cannot imagine a group session on the contract.
Oh,
with
come on, we're
minutes.
just gonna spitball the contract right now.
To Google Docs, start like all again.
So Sabrina, that's hopefully the answers to you, but I think they're responsible questions. Again, we get to meet once every 2 months recently. And
We should just move it to once a month.
Yeah.
Like, let's just.
No, that's helpful.
I mean,
Getting bring tequila.
how do you two feel, and not to put you on the spot, but I am, how do you two feel about signing that contract? The old contract?
I want to see where we're going with a new one and the discussions that are supposed to happen. Because I don't want to preclude a new contract. Like, obviously, we're budgeting for and expecting to pay based on the way that it has been broken down. The thing that I know we will be asked and we should have a better answer for, and it's probably just a memo from Karen, is where and how did this ginormous jump happen from where we were to where we are now for what that rate should be if everything was always being calculated the same? Somewhere, because the number was changing every year and it was going up in expected percentages roughly every year. So somewhere the number that was being used for calculation changed. And it's fine to say it was inaccurate before, but what was it before? What was making it inaccurate before? So that we have that to tell people why this jump is, instead of just, well, that's what it's worth, which it is, but like, how did this happen? What changed in the calculation that maybe should have been there all the time, but wasn't? Having that to tell people is a much better story of, well, we had a great deal forever. This is the actual, and this is where that change happened, and what it was.
Well, I gave you 2 years, 2 past years of what it should have been.
Well,
So
there's the what
maybe
it should have been, but we haven't seen
It goes,
what they actually used to calculate it. And because there's obviously a number shifted that wasn't being used for, like, yes,
That's-
what you
that-
sent,
that's-
what should be there, but
that was the struggle, was we could not, when we went to go create the billing, we could not reconcile the numbers that had been used before with our accounting at all.
There was never a
The
number.
expenses were fine.
Figured it.
It was largely in the revenues. The call numbers were off a little bit. It was in the revenues that things we,
Oh, so they were showing that there were a lot more revenues than there were in the calculations?
I believe so.
Interesting. Okay.
And is that revenue based from billing
It's,
insurance companies and such?
it's insurance companies, it's, oh, I haven't pulled that folder out.
No, but
So I'm
that,
sorry.
I mean, that's what, as he's asking the question and listening.
Yeah, because
They're
It's
pretty
the- it's the revenue part, which is, I think, that's my biggest concern when we talk about any of this, is that we want to make sure moving forward, the billing's done correctly so that everybody, including yourselves, but
Absolutely.
in our case too, you know what I
Okay.
mean? And not just, oh, well, you know.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it is because I haven't looked at the numbers, but for example, based on you saying that it was revenue, let's just for a moment imagine that it was, well, the revenue that was used in the calculation was if we were getting full reimbursements from hospitals and Medicare and the insurance companies, but we only got, like 10% of that. So it really should have been higher, and this is accounting for that. If we have a memo that says something like that, or whatever the reason actually is.
I don't know what the reason
we
is.
can
I
present.
didn't do the calculations. That's the real challenge is,
Okay.
I went to go create the invoices and worked with the finance director to say, okay, how do we get to last year's numbers? And we could not get
So
there.
it wasn't a financial vehicle, it was utilized to get to last year's numbers. I mean, it wasn't a ratio or amounts of calls for service,
There-
ambulance runs, how much are they per ambulance runs, what happens when we pick up a paramedic? Those are the things that were calculated from what I heard from the chief and what he was explaining.
And that's what gets, gets billed out through Comstar or whatever, and then they reimburse us. End of year leftover unspent budget gets calculated in as revenue. And so these numbers just, we could not make them marry up.
I don't know if we can get you that
I don't know that I can,
certainty.
yeah.
Okay.
But we did talk about at the meeting having a simple paragraph that did explain that it was a clerical error that had been discovered in the changing of administrators in Hopkinton. And so I do think writing up that couple sentences
That
and
would be
sending
helpful.
that out
That would
is
be
what we
great.
had discussed at that.
I mean-
Isn't like, I know the level of specificity unfortunately can't be replicated.
And we fully
However,
recognize.
the saying like it was a clerical error that was uncovered when a new town administrator dug into or was trying to prepare for the following year.
That sound reasonable to you?
Okay.
Mhm. I mean, I think it's fully understandable with the prices that were valued in 2012 and 2013 and 2026 are far beyond the prices of, you know what I'm saying? Well, that was a good discussion, too.
And what I'm hearing though is that we need to come back together after town meeting sometime in early April. Like early to mid-April and discuss. a
Need to make some
couple things.
decisions.
I think we need to meet basically as soon as we get the new numbers from the transfer station to discuss the fee schedules.
Yes, that's right.
That's probably before town meeting.
I don't
And
know that we-
I don't know that we can accommodate. I'm not sure we could do that before town meeting.
but then, yeah, then it would be meeting on the ambulance once the administrators hammer out a little bit more.
Yeah.
There would be another one on the mitigation and the PFAS as at least the minimums that need to be looked at.
The mitigation of the PFAS, are you talking the landfill cap?
Yes.
Okay, that's
well,
not PFAS.
Not the landfill cap, the PFAS mitigation one, because that's all the bonds.
And-
That's the bonds.
The
Yep.
maturity
Okay.
period.
Can also happen where we're.
Right.
Oh, that's
what
gonna
revealed
be-
after
And
budget
that's gonna
season.
also be like, do we actually have to, can we send a bill to Warner? Do we then have to sue them again? And so that'll be probably significant board discussion again.
But that will definitely come up Wednesday evening, second budget meeting.
Yep.
I can guarantee all of us it'll come up in the town meeting. And we have answers. I mean, our discussion tonight gave us some estimates using that term as to what we need to look forward to.
Well, and I think that Vicky emailed the court decision she found to Karen, and Karen can forward
you get
that
that
to you
figured
guys, so
Yeah.
you can have it as well.
No,
We don't
it's
we don't
good.
know what it says, so hopefully that's the one that we're all thinking.
Yeah, I think there are multiple ones
be nice.
out
Yeah,
there.
we'll see.
Yep.
This one's from 1997 from the US District Court.
Sounds
Interesting.
tasty.
Okay.
We good?
And that probably, hopefully also answers whether Warner's gonna continue paying
Yes.
or not.
Yeah.
For the, I think it's a portion of the well that they do, kind of, because it's from the other, or
I don't know, but it could
Anyway.
be. Yeah.
I know that there's a revenue in there every year from Warner, so. Right.
Yay.
Okay.
Thank you for coming, guys.
Thank you so much.
The door on you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much for coming out.
Oh, okay.
Thank you guys for the good discussion.
Thank you.
Safe drive.
Information. We only have one meeting before the meeting.
I think we only have one more.
It's March 2nd.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay. I'm just making sure, because I was like, wait, I feel like there is.
Yeah, we talked a lot because it's next.
Thank you, folks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I know,
Bye, guys.
there's School vacation and then it's election day. So yeah, I think we chose to do March 2nd.
Okay.
Should be on the website calendar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was just looking at my personal one. I could also.
Is
go
it
there.
March
Or
2nd?
I could ask the Google/Sabrina right next to me.
What are we
No,
gonna
I'm
do?
not sure I'm this person.
I'll
I'll
check
do
the-
back-to-back meetings because you always meet before elections, the night before
I think
election.
it was that one was gonna be it.
I thought it was March 9th.
Oh, I thought you guys said you don't usually meet the night before
I
the
know, I think we
election.
prefer not to meet the night before. the
Yeah,
election.
Yeah, I thought we moved
So
that.
I think. we
Okay, it
moved
is
to
March
the
2nd.
Second,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes,
And
it's
then I
showing
think
March
it's the
2nd.
And the 16th, so.
2nd and the 16th, that is correct.
Okay, good.
Good rest-
Yeah.
Night.
Okay, so I'm going to just propose we shift a few things. Do you have maybe town administrator updates? I see we have two people besides Vicky on, so just see if anyone has public comment, and then do we have to do the Class 6 road request tonight?
No, but we could push that out.
If we could do that, and then I propose we push out goals, because we have 5 non-public.
I
and
totally
it is
agree.
8:30.
Yeah.
I
so-
agree.
Yeah, we have to vote on the warrant articles.
Yes.
So yeah, let's do that.
Would you
Okay.
like your streamlined administrator
Yes,
update?
please, thank you.
Okay, so I'm just gonna slide the contract over there and have one of you guys sign it rather than have me sign it. That's the GMI contract, sorry.
Sounds like a chair job. Server was.
So actually, we can skip over some of that. Just real quickly, Beverly's working on a community challenge grant, an ARP community challenge grant, for the purpose of developing pre-approved ADU plans downloadable to the public. This is
So cool.
kind of a really cool thing, yeah. Housing Committee has asked that the select board consider adding a new position to their committee for a representative from the Hopkinton Village Precinct. Apparently some of the zoning
Oh, right.
has become.
May I speak to it really quickly?
Sure, yes. please.
So the Housing Committee has encountered repeatedly that many of the things we're saying don't actually have an impact, correct, on the Hopkinton Village Precinct because they have their own
Zoning.
their own zoning.
Yep.
And so we'd love to extend an invitation to a member of that board to come join the Housing Committee so that they can be kept abreast of what we are discussing and the things we are thinking about to see if it is applicable to things they would like to do within their own. So there's less it's going to facilitate communication and hopefully some collaboration.
So moved.
But it's, hang on, because it's adding an additional role to the committee, which puts the committee numbers at 10. Do we have any concerns about an even number? No, okay, great. Fantastic, so moved,
We need a second.
I'll second that.
great, they will be thrilled. I think it's a really good addition to the committee.
We should probably vote on that.
Yeah.
Do we have to ask HVP if they want to participate? Or do you just
Oh, declare.
appoint somebody
Well, we wouldn't just appoint someone, we'd say like, we have reserved a seat for you.
for you? Okay,
Do you have someone who could join?
who would like
The
to?
the committee can function without someone in that
Yeah.
role.
Okay.
But
Okay.
putting the role in place first and then extending that invitation to saying like, look, we made a spot for you. There is also overlap between folks who are currently on the committee and participation in the precinct. And so there has been some communication, but
okay.
not formal in the way that we would hope for.
Okay, so that's, that's a unanimous 4?
Well, Vicky, are you in favor?
I abstain.
Okay, so that
I haven't
Steven,
technically voted yet, but I'm in
Oh.
favor.
you're in favor, I'm in favor.
I'm in favor.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Okay. Also, Beverly and I have talked about some pulse surveys, and we keep kind of talking about different things and then thinking, oh, we need some community input. So we've also talked about extending that to departments. What do you want to know from the public? So I think you'll see some pulse surveys coming along in the next few months, probably post-town meeting, but starting to gauge some of the feel of the public.
That's really cool.
There are some questions that came out of the CEDC meeting about information sharing, some comments.
The
They-
what meeting?
Community and economic.
Economic.
Oh, thank you.
They felt that there was, and I don't know, Stephen, maybe you want to talk to this?
I actually wasn't there.
You weren't there,
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry.
The committee expressed a need for better coordination of information sharing across boards and committees. There's a need there to facilitate communication. Some of the suggestions were a board/committee newsletter where a representative from each board or committee reports on significant initiatives and updates. Regular report outs and presentations to the select board, a folder or repository for all documents. I would say your website is that folder or repository of all documents. It's, get them into our hands, we'll get them up there.
I would also say having a select board member that actually is able to attend those meetings and report back would probably also help with the communication. And
Yeah.
so I just have not been able to make some of those recent meetings, which makes it hard for this board to be kept abreast of what's going
Well,
on.
we kind of do, just like town administrator updates, unfortunately, very brief board committee updates too. So I don't, that could be something that the board
Yeah.
decides we want to focus a little more on. Quickly, I met with Lee Wilder and Louise Carr about the horseshoes. They're drawing up some pictures and have some ideas. And the last thing I want to put on your radar is that should Steve Lux, who's running for select board, get elected, he will no longer be able to serve as a trustee of the trust funds, which will leave us at 1. So we will need to appoint a trustee, and happy to take suggestions on who might be interested in doing that. But that will be, because there will be no way they can move money or fund things if we don't have at least 2.
And there's no one running for that position this cycle, correct?
No, same with cemetery. There's a vacancy there that there's,
Okay.
unless somebody mounts a write-in campaign.
Okay. Any other updates?
That's it.
Okay.
That's your speed version. You're welcome.
Appreciate that. Does anyone wish to speak for public comment? There's no one with us, so.
I mean,
Catherine Mitchell?
you meant in person.
Oh.
I
So if
appreciate
you are
them.
online, you are our people.
And I know that
we
Grace
adore you.
Clement is not really Grace Clement.
We have
Thanks.
learned.
Yep.
It's Lauren under a disguise.
Okay, so I think that's a no. So that I would say we should move on to voting the warrant articles.
Can I propose something?
Yes, please.
I would suggest that I was gonna make a motion to recommend Articles 3 through 7. And then talk about 8 and 9 separately. So I just want to give Alyssa a
Good.
chance to look at.
Do we
where she
want,
is.
okay, never mind. Yes.
3
Answer this question.
through 7, 3, the zoning?
No,
Three.
3,
Oh, no.
no,
that would
Oh,
not be-
that's Article
Operating.
2. You have
Operating
to
budget?
down.
Operating
skipping
budget,
officers and zoning.
appropriations, appropriation to expendable trust fund, designated
We-
lots of town forest.
We
option
don't
tax credit.
do we need to talk now about any amendments we want to make on the floor to Article 4 based off the conversation we had earlier today?
I think we should do that at our next
In
meeting.
the second?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
but yes, we will need to talk about that and
If
get a
we
game
can put a, Sabrina and Karen, if we can put a big like circle around talking about Article 4, the appropriation of capital reserve funds to come back to the culvert and the cap and
So I will make a motion that the board recommend Articles 3 through 7 to the voters.
That's the operating budget, appropriation to capital reserve funds, appropriation to expendable trust funds, designated lots as town forest, and readopt the optional tax credit for service-connected total disability. And I would note that one, it's an update because of the state making changes, right?
Right, the state law changed.
I second.
Okay. Do we need to read these or anything, or is this okay to, okay. Vicky, are you,
So,
are you good with this?
yes.
Okay, so Stephen made the motion, and so. These
I
will go in.
seconded.
Okay, you seconded. Okay, so do we need to do a?
You just do it, just do it.
Do a roll call vote.
Vicky,
Yeah.
what's your vote?
Yes.
Stephen?
Yes.
I'm a yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you.
That'll be the select board recommends 4-0 because Jeff is not.
Right.
Right.
Are we allowed to make Jeff vote later?
We can't. I
Yeah,
don't
if
think,
you
right?
watch this recording later, late.
Listen, this
Very
is not the
lame.
first, this is actually, I think for the past 3 years, we've had 4 to whatever, or whatever,
We'll-
like.
We'll
4.
make him present every article that he didn't recommend. Would it be all of them?
Jeff, we miss you. Wish you were here voting with us.
We have definitely voluntold him.
It's true. There's precedent. For the 2 petition ones,
I don't know that I couldn't, the last petition one, I didn't go back too far, but the last petition one was the SB2. And the board did not weigh in on that. I just put those in there in case you wanted to.
Yeah.
we're not, I think we
Yeah.
have previously said no on the SB2 ones. And maybe it just wasn't the last one, but that's come up a lot in our history. And I think
Right.
we've consistently
That's-
said no to that.
But in other similar, oh, there was one to do like a hand count vote one year.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to recommend
Or not, yeah.
these because they're not money articles. So it's kind of at our discretion.
Yeah.
Vicky, do you have a strong opinion about?
I don't feel comfortable recommending or not recommending these 2 petition warrant articles.
And could you say more about why? Just because I think we might be on the
Because
same.
it feels like a gut feeling thing, and I would like people to have discussion on it, because I truly don't know my own gut feeling about these.
I appreciate that, mostly because whether it's through my own fault or oversight, in reading the warrant articles was the first time I'd really read these. And so having not sat or worked through these in the way I have with everything else on there, I would want to have that discussion with the voters because it would just be a gut reaction right now versus a informed conversation.
That is fair. I also do think I feel like there is a distinction between petition warrant articles that have a direct impact on the town, like in that moment, like an SB2 one, or like something forcing us to do a hand count vote versus something that's asking us to make a comment or
Right.
something to the legislature.
Yeah.
To me, those are very different things.
And I do applaud citizens using the warrant article in this way to raise up their concerns,
Yeah.
particularly when we often talk about it. So like, I applaud the mechanism.
But
I just want to
agree
hear
with
from
the-
folks.
Yeah, I
and
agree with the
talk
idea
about it.
of us not I'm not sure it adds or takes.
I don't think it adds anything, and I think it, in some ways, makes it seem as if we spent time on it in a way that we hadn't.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
just to show that I think I know my board pretty well. I have prepared the warrant without your recommendation on those two.
Thanks, Karen.
Kudos, Karen.
We have had disagreements in the past, but you were right that there was nothing on this that was super controversial.
Right.
for us.
And Vicky come by and sign?
Sure. Yeah, she's
Only if you want
part of
to?
the meeting, so yes.
That's right. She voted.
I'll be back at like 9 o'clock tomorrow night. So I'll come by on Wednesday.
I'll see you Wednesday.
So, thank you for preparing this. All right, I'm gonna suggest that we push off goals and the Class 6 road thing. We've already done public forum,
I concur.
also board committee updates. I'm sorry, I just think that these 5 non-publics are gonna take us
Sometime.
into the darkness of the night.
Kyle.
So does anyone have anything for other?
I just want to say I really appreciate Jolene and the transfer station staff as they've been dealing with the not perfect transition to the new trailer system. I should have said that while Jolene was still in the room. But there's been some welding and a lot of back and forth, and they've handled it with grace.
I agree.
Agreed.
And then just to add another quick kudos to the record, just a deep thank you to Beverly, I'm assuming, who pulled together the document for our goals discussion, and my deepest sadness that we are not using it tonight, but that her work is not going unnoticed. And I am so deeply appreciative of her taking what we said and putting it back in front of us.
No, she was very excited to do that.
Like,
She
just a
likes that
deep
kind of
thank
stuff.
you to her for doing that.
Just before we move on to the non-publics, I know that we have in our packet the Community and Economic Development Coordinator position, and I would just ask that that be on the next agenda so
Yep.
we can try to get that squared away.
One other thing for public, the letter we prepared for the town report, Vicky made some edits.
Yes,
I thought they were great.
I haven't.
So unless anyone has any other feelings on that, perhaps we could put that one to bed.
Drop it right in there.
I'm
Yep.
good.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you, Vicky.
And thank you, Vicky.
All I did was add an Oxford comma.
That's
I like your style. I get
It's a personal thing. Okay. Okay. So thank you to everyone who joined us tonight, especially Dan and Jolene and the Webster Select Board and the 2 people. Well, actually, we had more people in public. So thank you to
Yeah.
everyone who came and was part of this. It's a good meeting.
I do actually really enjoy our joint meetings with Webster. I think they're fun.
I do too.
They're
I
group.
appreciate their attention to detail and
I do
their
too.
feistiness, because I like
No, these
talking
are
to
good
them.
meetings.
That's how it's supposed to work.
Okay, so I will move that we go into non-public. We've got 5, 2 are under A, 1 is under D, 1 is under C, 1 is under E. This
The
is
whole alphabet
say
soup.
91, A3,
Think
2A, D, C, and E.
So how does this work? Do we just stop recording, but I stay on Zoom?
Or I could call you.
Yeah.
I think I'll call you, Vicky,
Okay.
I'm
if you're
gonna,
able to join us for the non-publics.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna second the motion to go into non-public for those 5 separate sessions.
2 A's, D, C, and E. All right, Vicky, it's a roll call vote.
Yes.
Steven?
Yes.
I'm a yes. And Alyssa.
Yes.
Okay, so we will go into non-public and afterwards we will adjourn and not conduct any other business. So thank you to everyone who joined us tonight.
Thanks, all.
Thanks.